Hey everybody, and welcome to List Critics 2. I'm Armageddon Time, and this is NecroVMX.
Indeed it is, and we got some great lists for you. We're going to start by talking about genitalia.
I have some. I don't know if any other listeners out there do, but you should check right now, make sure you all do.
Well, I got a list here from Huffington Post.
Oh.
It's 17 things you don't want to hear while naked.
I was going to say, we're going corporate all of a sudden? HuffPost?
Well, you know, I'm not into their politics, as you know.
Yes.
I'm more of a conservative guy, but they do have some pretty funny stuff on their website. And this is pretty amusing. 17 things you don't want to hear while naked. And I want to have a little fun with this, Jesse. How about I'm going to say each one to you, and you rank it from 1 to 5 on how little you'd want to hear that. Like, a 1 being it's not that bad, and a 5 being that would be the worst thing ever.
Just how uncomfortable it would make
Exactly,
me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
These are not in any particular order, so I'm just going to start with number 1. Turn the lights off.
You know, it really depends on the situation.
It depends on the inflection. Like, it could be like, ooh, turn the lights off, let's do it.
Or turn the lights off!
Like, oh, turn it off.
Like,
so on a 1 to 5, how bad is that?
I'd have to go middle of the road with a 3.
3? Okay. All right, number 2. Oh, look at it. It's so cute.
5.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. Number 3. Good thing I won't remember this in the morning.
Considering what may occur, I might go 2, actually.
Yeah. Number 4. Well, bless your heart.
Who knows? I might have just said something very witty. That wouldn't really bother me all that much. I'd go 1.
When you say bless your heart, they're basically just like making fun of you.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'd go 1.
That's uncomfortable because it's so condescending.
Well, if I'm already naked, you know, that's cool by me. I'd go 1, actually.
Okay. Number 5. Oh.
5. Actually.
Yeah, that's probably the worst one, right?
Just, I can hear it as, like
Number 6. Oh, you know, this reminds me of that Seinfeld episode with George in the pool.
Shrinkage.
I was in the pool! I was in the pool! Remember when they described shrinkage to Elaine?
It shrinks?
It shrinks? Hold on 1 second. Just realized I gotta close my door. I'd like to leave it open, but since we're recording, I don't want to disturb any of the neighbors, you know?
Close the door.
Close the door. All right, number 7. You need to get that checked out.
I'll go 3.
Yeah, maybe they're telling you something you're not aware of. Maybe there's some sort of, like, weird mole or something.
Yeah, because I won't go 5, because, like, what if it's, like, actually serious? Like, thanks for, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Number 8, rather. Hold on, I'm texting.
That would just suck.
I'd kick him out at that point. I'd be like, all right, bitch, get out.
Hold on, I'm texting. Oh, and then they finish with, oh,
I got too much integrity for that shit.
Yeah.
That's like my friend Joe, Joe the Cripple. He actually kicked a girl out of his bedroom once because she insulted Rush. Like, she was down to fuck.
Really?
And she said she insulted Rush, and he told her she had to leave.
I don't know, man. At the time, I would have been like, oh, Rush is the worst fucking man I ever heard.
Oh,
anyway, let's do this.
No. You know you wouldn't do that. You know you wouldn't do that.
Well...
you get laid way more than he does.
Oh, well.
Number 9. Oh, boy, my breast friends.
Wait to me. Oh, dear.
Well, that one's more into the ladies. What kind of douchebag would say that, though?
Like, hey, probably a guy who's got a beer in his hand and backwards cap.
Oh, well.
My breast friends.
I guess if you're sleeping with a guy like that, you deserve it.
I don't know. Trying to put myself into the mindset of a lady, that would be a bit of a turn off. I'd go 3 as well.
Yeah. All right, number 10. I like to have sex with the lights off.
I guess
That's kind of similar to the first one, but it's not as bad.
Yeah, because it's all about inflection. That's the thing about this list is there really needs to be some inflection. Like if there was an audio file. Ooh, that'd be nice, an audio file.
So that's like a 2, I would say, right?
Yeah, 2, because maybe you like the lights off. You never know.
Number 11. Okay, so let's put our clothes back on.
5. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Number 12. I have to go return some videotapes.
Oh, wait, is that when it's all over? Because this is
just when you see the... like... Well, I'd be wondering if that person has a time machine.
Yeah, videotapes.
Yeah. Rentals.
Take it back to Hollywood Video.
Have you heard of this thing called Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 5, just because it's so anachronistic.
Yeah, well, it just... I got this thing. Well, that would be the worst.
Number 13. 5. I pictured it better in my mind.
That's insulting.
It is.
That's like saying you're ugly.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a 5 too, huh?
But they're not saying it. I go 4, so okay. It's not top notch.
All right. Number 14. My condolences.
Oh shit.
That's just a dick move all around.
Yeah, like this is just if you're naked. Like maybe who knows? Maybe your best friend's accidentally seen it and they go, "Oh, my condolences." Like they just caught you at the worst time.
Yeah, right.
You're like, you dick. So I'd actually go 3. Like it sounds bad, but
Number 15. Is it supposed to look like that?
I don't know, man. Well, I was in the pool.
I was in the pool. Oh, number 16. Well, just look at the little guy.
Don't ever say little when a man's naked.
Yeah, that's just a dick move, literally.
Dick, I see what you did.
That's a 5.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, number 17. I need to go now.
And I'll leave with another 5.
Yeah.
Because if they're
out of 17, I'm going to give this a 15.
Yeah, I didn't feel too bad about some of them, but I'd go 14. Not as bad.
All right. Here's another one to make you uncomfortable. This is from BuzzFeed. This is 12 teachers revealing their most horrific classroom experiences.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's a preview of the future.
Once again, not in any particular order, but sort of number 1. Number 1, a little girl aged 4 interrupted my phonics lesson and shouted out, "Don't listen to Miss, she's crap." I didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
Don't listen to Miss, she's crap.
Imagine a 4-year-old saying that.
Must have picked it up from somewhere.
Just loudly announcing that you're crap and nobody should listen to you.
Yeah, like, I'm the teacher. That's my job. For you to listen to me.
Well, apparently she's crap. Number 2, one evil genius kid learned a load of teaching terms and would use them to question me constantly. "Miss, how would you rate your behavior management?" And, "Miss, how do you feel like do you feel like the majority of the class is making expected progress?"
That's an intuitive kid.
It's irritating.
Yeah, I guess if I'm the teacher, like,
shut up already.
Like, I'm grading you. You're not grading.
Yeah. Number 3. A teacher told me about their first day... Oh, this is awesome, by the way. A teacher told me about their first day doing teaching training many years ago at a school in Liverpool. The school was notoriously bad, and she had been warned both by people who knew of the school and existing teachers how badly behaved these pupils were in this particular class. To say they were nervous was an understatement. Just 20 minutes into the first lesson, with the trainee unsupervised, the kids were being good as gold, quiet, well-behaved, and interactive, and the teacher was starting to get comfortable and think that all those warnings were nonsense. Then, all of a sudden, and this sounds like it was pre-planned and done with military-style execution, this lone kid got up and stood on the table and started singing "It's Oh So Quiet" by Bjork. The teacher stood there in bemusement and confusion, wondering what the hell was going on, until the bit where they sang the line, "And so peaceful until..." Next thing, the whole class just went berserk and absolutely ransacked the classroom, forcing the teacher to flee, and the lesson got abandoned. I heard the classroom literally got destroyed as the kids went on a rampage.
Wow! Wow!
You know, as horrible as that is, I gotta give props to those kids for planning something like that.
That is impressive, and there needed to be some serious thought put into it.
Well, I'll tell you, I actually did something like that, not nearly on that magnitude, but in junior high school, in the 7th grade, we did do something like that.
What did you do?
Well, okay, we had this one teacher. I don't remember her name, and I don't even really remember what class it was. I think it was some sort of like economics course or something. I barely remember the 7th grade.
Yeah.
But 7th grade, kids, especially the boys. The girls were not in on this. They were too mature for this shit. This was something the boys cooked up, and we were little sociopaths. But let's face it, all like 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old boys are sociopaths.
Of course, man. The hormones are just starting to kick in.
Oh, yeah, and you absolutely have no idea what to do with yourself. So we had this one teacher that, even though we were in the 7th grade, she kind of was a little, like, condescending. Not that she was a bitch or anything, but her whole classroom aesthetic was geared towards much younger kids, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think we were kind of, like, insulted by that on a subconscious level. And, because, like, you're starting to go through, like, puberty, and you, like, feel like you're an adult already, even though you're totally not.
Yeah, like you're completely self-aware of the world around you.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not self-aware yourself.
Oh, no.
So anyway, most teachers, they have their own rules for their own classroom, and most teachers just go over that shit on the first day of school, and that's it,
Mm-hmm.
She had them, like, permanently written on, like, a section of the blackboard that was, like, her class rule. So they're always there staring you in the face. Now, there wasn't anything on there that was unreasonable. It was all pretty normal stuff,
Yeah.
But this one rule kind of stood out. It was, do not throw paper.
Okay.
And it was the only rule that was written in all capital letters. It was underlined, and they had like 5 exclamation points. So clearly, she was sending a message to the class that, for whatever reason, throwing paper really got under her. It really bothered her.
Well, if you're dealing with kids, clearly the message is, please throw paper.
Absolutely. So, of course, we were doing it all the time. We're crumbling paper, we're throwing paper balls. We had paper ball fights, like, every fucking day, right? Like I said, we're all socio, and it drove her crazy. And the thing is, like, if she had not made that so outstanding, we never would have done that.
Of course. That's how kids are.
Like, I'm not saying that people would not have thrown paper, but they wouldn't have made a point to always throw paper. Well, anyway, like I said, we're all a bunch of sociopaths. The boys, at least. The girls are cruel, too, but to each other. Boys are cruel to the world. This one kid, Charles, he was like the worst of us. He was the biggest sociopath. And he had this idea that we executed, where we would go in there and act really nice and not throw any paper and just like be perfect for like the whole period. And then at the end, when the bell rang, we would all have a paper ball that we'd all throw at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And there's 2 things about this that make this kind of sad, because we did do this. The first thing was that one of the girls tipped her off like halfway through the class. And you saw kind of like the panic in her face. Because apparently, I don't know why people crumbing up a piece of paper and throwing it is like such a big deal to this chick. Maybe she was horribly traumatized in a paper mill or something. But she was like, I heard that you guys are planning to do this, and if you do it, all this shit, which of course did nothing to dissuade anybody. And you could also see, like, up until that point, like, the surprise in her eyes that we were all, like, so well behaved. Like, you could see, like, that she was kind of incredulous.
Like, this isn't right.
Like, whoa, they're acting, like, she was, like, pleasantly surprised, though, Like, and it was like, I remember, like, it's such an evil feeling, but I remember feeling like, oh, we're getting her good, man. You could tell, like, she noticed that we're acting all good, And then the bell rang, and we all threw a paper ball, and I swear she was, like, ready to cry.
Aw.
And, like, of course, looking back on that, you feel bad about it. Because, like, there was really no reason to do that to that poor woman, but she did bring it on herself by drawing attention to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you know anything about, like, tweens, because that's what we were, if you know anything about tweens, you don't, like, if you have, like, your rules, you kind of have to make it that they're all equal, because when you point out that something really bothers you, they're going to do that.
Yeah, you have to keep them general and basic rules. Don't get too specific.
See, me, I would just write, like, don't be a dick. That covers everything, you know? Don't be a dick. All right, number 4. Kids in my school, this is horrible, by the way. Kids in my school locked the religious studies teacher in a spare cupboard at the back of the classroom for the entire lesson and left him there after. Brutal. He was a really nice man as well. 14-year-old boys are just dicks, which goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah, there you go. Don't be a dick.
All right, number 5. I've been called a white bitch. The best part is the girl's grandma was white. Number 6. I had a phantom pooer in nursery for a while. 3 Fridays in a row, a child would curl one out on the floor of the nursery toilet. The next Friday, I camped out outside the door most of the day, and it didn't happen. I never found out who it was. A phantom pooer, huh? Number 7. One of my mom's 8-year-old pupils took all her clothes off and displayed the razor blade she had in her pocket. Imagine you're a teacher, and you're teaching these 8-year-olds, and all of a sudden this girl gets up, takes off all her clothes, and starts waving a razor blade around. Would you not want to call in, like, the National Guard at that point? Like SWAT teams?
Yeah, if not the National Guard, then at least some very high authority figure.
SWAT teams. That girl is evil. She's possessed. There's something going on there.
Like, you want to see somebody on a walkie-talkie go, take her down.
Yeah. We have the kill shot. Just take her out, man.
She's in the kill box.
Like, kids are creepy enough as it is. Naked kids with razor blades, that's like an entirely new level of creepy.
That's like horror movie scary.
It really is. That's like some Korean horror movie, you know?
The Ring.
Well, no, I was like Korean. I was thinking like Old Boy, you know?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, number 8. This is simple, to the point. I got kneed in the nuts by a 7-year-old girl. How does a 7-year-old girl even reach the nuts?
A leap of faith?
What did she stand on a chair?
It's all that milk, man. They got the hormones.
Maybe this person is very short?
Yeah, maybe he's short. Maybe they're short, and the kid, drinking too much of that friggin' hormone
I just imagine
milk.
a little girl standing on a chair to kick you in the balls.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Because that's funny to me. Number 9, second week of PGCE placement, a year 9 boy eats an entire glue stick for a reason I'm still not aware of.
Oh, kids are always eating that stuff. It's non-toxic.
Yeah, but what? I'm sure it doesn't taste good.
I wouldn't know. I was not a glue eater.
Year 9, though. That's high school.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. To be like, look what I did,
Yeah, I guess. Number 10. One kid punched himself in the face repeatedly and wrote, "I'm a murderer" on the wall in his blood whilst threatening to kill me. He kept shouting that he wanted to be a murderer like his father, which was scary when we later learned his father was a murderer.
Oh my god.
I mean, okay. Honestly, I actually kind of feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, like, that's a messed up
Like, the little
shit.
girl with the razor blade, that's creepy to me, but this kid, I want him to get help. That's terrible. I mean, obviously his father killed someone, probably in prison, and this kid's got some fucking problems.
Which might have resulted from either that or there's some genetic imbalance,
I think you mean hormone imbalance.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right, number 11. A child bit me and wouldn't let go. I had to have a hepatitis B injection.
It's a real bad rat.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And number 12. I introduced a suggestion box and got responses including "get some better clothes" and "stop wearing tights with holes in them."
That's not so bad. They're giving good advice.
Yeah, but that's just kids being assholes.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's a suggestion box...
That's not what the suggestion box is for.
But they're never going to use it for real good suggestions.
That's like on South Park when Mr. Mackey made it was like a suggestion box where it was for kids to anonymously talk about their problems and ask questions. And he was like, okay, the first one is, "Mr. Mackey is gay." Okay, that's not appropriate, okay? All right, let's go to the next one. "Mr. Mackey is gay." Okay, that's not funny. That's not appropriate. All right, let's get a real one. Let's see. Oh, here's a question. "Dear Mr. Mackey, why are you gay?" And then he's like, look at it, he's like, let's say, "Mr. Mackey's gay, Mr. Mackey's gay, Mr. Mackey's gay."
That's good.
All right, out of 12. I gotta give it out of 12. Those are all pretty bad.
I'll also give it a 12 because I'm not looking forward to any of those.
You say looking forward to. Are you like going to be a teacher or something?
Yeah?
Oh, nice. What age kids are you looking to work with?
Preferably grade 8 and under.
Oh, you poor soul. All right. I got another one from BuzzFeed here. This is written by Kelly Oakes. It's 19 eye-opening facts about sex. So once again, we're going to talk about genitals.
Turn off the lights.
Oh my. All right, number 1. An orgasm can clear your sinuses.
I believe it. It's happened.
So like when you know how when you're just like really congested, I guess that you just got to jerk off.
Or turn over to your lady, baby. I got a really stuffed up nose. You think you could? And she'll be like, blow your nose.
And here's an evolutionary one. Men used to have penis spines.
I don't know if that's good or bad, because you could break your dick. I guess you still can, but it's not the same.
Cats actually have penis spines.
Oh, do they retract out like friggin' Wolverines?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, I bet that hurts the ladies.
Well, they're cats. What could they probably get off on that? Number 3, sex can temporarily wipe your memory. It's true though, because like you can't like really think after sex for a few moments.
Yeah, and then you get into the sometimes really strange pillow talk.
Yeah,
Like it just takes you weird places.
It does. Number 4, I had this whole conversation. Oh, Julie's going to kill me for talking about this, but I had this whole weird conversation with her once where I was like, hey, hon, I ask you a question. And she's like, okay, go ahead. And I was like, when you're at work, do you ever like, actually, I can't tell. I can't talk about that on YouTube. Never mind. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
Because I forgot where she works is a secret. Number 4, apple consumption has been linked to better quality of sex life in women. So ladies, eat those apples.
Yeah. An apple a day keeps the sex more than okay. I don't know. Best I can do.
You saved it there. I thought you were going to crash and burn.
Best I could do.
Number 5, the average clitoris is the size of a medium zucchini. The bit that you actually see is like kind of the tip of the iceberg.
I bet.
Yeah. The clitoral structure actually runs pretty deep.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Number 6, there are around 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris.
I knew there was a lot. I knew there was like thousands.
A higher concentration of nerve fibers than the tongue and the fingertips.
Like it's crazy super sensitive.
Number 7, short men say they get more sex.
Say they get more sex.
Well, I guess it works for Tom Cruise. I don't know. He's a little midget.
Is he into men or women or I don't know? It's always.
No, I'm pretty sure he's into men, but he's so deeply closeted.
He's finding Christmas presents.
Number 8, penis size and shoe size are actually not correlated at all.
That's a myth.
Yeah, obviously. Number 9, wearing a condom makes no difference to how long you last.
I didn't think it would. I didn't know that was a thing people thought.
Well, I mean, I guess the thought is because it's less sensation.
You can't feel it as much.
That you would last longer. But really, that how long you last is more mental than anything.
Think about baseball.
Well, then I'd just be floppy right there thinking about baseball. I'm sorry. But... Number 10. One type of medication for OCD, it's called clomipramine. It can cause people to orgasm when they yawn.
Whoa!
Oh, I gotta change my pants. Number 11, you are more likely to orgasm with warm feet. I think that there may be a confusion between causality and causation there because I think it's not that warm feet make you more likely to orgasm. I think it's that it's a circulation issue. Oh,
yeah, because things are moving faster, right?
Yeah. Especially in women, whether or not women can achieve orgasm has a lot to do with circulation. If they have poor blood flow, they're going to have a harder time coming. And, of course, their feet will be cold.
Yes, that's where the old adage of cold feet came from. Well, not really, but...
No, not really. Yeah. Number 12, women can have wet dreams too.
Yeah?
Yeah, according to the Kinsey study, 37% of women orgasm in their sleep by the time they reach 45 years old.
Whoa, 45. All right.
Number 13, natural vaginal lubricant contains a substance called squalene, which is also found in shark livers. That's a very random fact.
Yeah. I did not expect it to go that way. I was thinking like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's completely not.
Wow.
Right. Number 14, agalmatophilia is sexual attraction to statues or mannequins.
Man, I'd only ever heard of phobias of mannequins, but I guess for every phobia, there's a philia.
That's probably very true.
Like, man, what's underneath Statue of Liberty's robe? Who knows?
She's totally a 4 anyway. Number 15, having regular sex can make you feel as happy as earning an extra $100,000 a year would.
Only 100.
And buy me love.
Yeah. Oh, you totally could. $100,000 a year?
Number 16, by their late teenage years, 3/4 of people have had sex.
Yeah. It's those hormones, man.
Yeah. Number 17, people ages 18 to 29 have had sex an average of 112 times per year.
What? Whoa.
Who are they talking to?
Yeah. I gotta play.
If you think about it, that's not as much as you'd think. That's basically like twice a week.
Well, yeah, I guess
not
so.
as. It sounds like a lot when you say 112 times per year. Then you think about it, that really is like twice a week. So it's not really as. It's not unrealistic.
Mm-hmm. And if you have like a steady girlfriend or boyfriend,
Yeah,
then...
exactly. Yeah. And plus, you think 18 to 20, a lot of people are married. They have relationships. You know. All right,
Yeah.
19. Men who cheat on their wives are more likely to die of cardiac arrest during sex. I guess good, huh?
Yeah. Get rid of the scums.
I mean, is it karma, or is it just that it's stressful to them? Who knows, right?
Natural selection.
Yeah. Well, what it says here is that in most cases, cheating happens in most cases with a younger partner in an unfamiliar setting or after excessive food and alcohol consumption. So they're basically, it is putting yourself at risk.
Yeah, because in situations like that, you know, you're...
All right.
everything's more extreme.
This one's not for the squeamish, but it is possible, this is number 19, and this is the last one, it is possible for couples to get stuck together during sex.
Yeah, I actually saw that on this show. I think it's called Sex Brought Me to the ER or something like that.
I thought you were going to say like Mythbusters or something.
Yeah,
Hey, some of those chicks on Mythbusters, I wouldn't mind busting that myth with them.
Bust my myth all over your face, neck, chest.
It happens when muscles in the vagina clamp down harder than usual on the guy's penis in a terrifying phenomenon called penis captivus.
It promises what it... or delivers what it promises,
I love when it's like something that you can just immediately tell what it means just from, you know.
It's like a Chinese finger trap.
Speaking of which, what is going on over there?
I think Terry's just being weird.
Oh, so it's normal day.
Yeah.
All right, out of 19, what do you say?
I thought, I'm going to give it a 15, because some of those I kind of already knew.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to say 15 as well. Okay, I got another one here. I know I'm doing a lot of them, but we will get to our submitted lists. But I just had a lot here that I wanted to do. This is from SwedenWeek.com. Have you seen these things, Jesse, going around a lot, life hacks?
Yeah.
Well, here's a list making fun of them.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So this is 20 pro-tip life hacks that will literally save your uninteresting internet-dependent life.
Okay.
Number 1, remember the name of someone you just met by writing it down in an old tattered spiral notebook you keep folded in half longwise and hanging out of your back pocket. Bonus points for asking them to spell it out and give country of origin.
Wow, yeah, that's, they're really going into some detail there.
Well, they're making fun of people who do the life hack. Number 2, keep track of all the cords around your computer entertainment center by randomly unplugging them and looking to see what device won't work. I can't keep track of those little bread bag holders during the 10 days I have the loaf of bread. How am I supposed to avoid losing them long enough to build a cord labeling system? It's true.
Efficient.
Number 3, keep your car from running out of gas by looking at the fuel gauge and add more when the needle gets close to the E. That's how I do it.
Yeah,
I don't know any other way to do it.
That's an extreme life hack. Pro tip for the future.
Number 4, look thinner in pictures by going on a diet and losing weight.
Put down the fork.
I knew a guy who had this girl that was totally sweating him, and she was kind of a bigger girl, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she actually would make herself look thinner in her Facebook pictures in the most low-tech way possible by literally changing the dimension of the pictures.
So just crunching everything in.
Yeah, so she looks like she had a cone head.
Well, that's stupid.
Very obvious what she was doing. She wasn't really doing it very pro. Number 5, use stuff like a paperclip or clothespin or scotch tape or a chip clip or rolling tightly to keep your bag of chips from getting stale. Don't use pant hangers. What are you, some kind of freak? Who even has pant hangers? That's what I want to know.
Chip clips, man. All about the chip clip.
Number 6, throw a frisbee like, you know what? If you don't already know how to throw a frisbee, don't bother trying now. There are some things you should be able to figure out without the internet.
You know, guaranteed somewhere on the internet is how to throw a frisbee.
Oh, it's all over the place. Dude, somebody wrote a book on how to sharpen pencils.
Insert pencil into pencil sharpener.
Yeah, right.
Turn crank.
Well, to be fair, they're teaching you how to do it with a knife.
Oh, well.
But it's something that could be a pamphlet and not like an entire book.
People write books on anything.
It's true. It's true. There was a book on Amazon of how to molest children.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It got taken down after like controversy, but yeah, that book got listed on Amazon.
Well, that's
I remember
surprising.
it was in the news and everything.
You don't say.
Yeah. Number 7, well, of course, I mean, you know, that's like somebody just looking for attention, I think. Number 7, make a grilled cheese the way your mom taught you and the way that has worked for 100 years. Do you have any idea how hard it is going to be to clean the melted cheese out of your toaster? Not to mention, once you turn that thing on its side, guess who has 3 years of crumbs to clean up?
Oh, God.
Well, you shouldn't have 3 years of crumbs in your toaster. I mean, every once in a while, shake it out over the sink, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't let the toaster leave and pile up. It's a fire hazard.
Nobody likes toaster leavings. That's what you eat when you're really poor.
Yeah, it's Bundy poor right there. Number 8, leave ketchup and mustard in the bottle they came in and set it out for a cookout. No one wants to scoop mustard out of your rusty old muffin pan. And you know what is less than one dish to wash? No dish to wash.
What the hell?
Well, there was one life hack. I actually do like this one where you would put like condiments in a muffin pan for like barbecues and shit. And it was, I think, less for ketchup and mustard and more for things like onions and relish.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and it is convenient, but, you know, I like the way they're making fun of it. Number 9, there is a right way to put your daughter's hair in a ponytail, dads, and it doesn't involve the dirty hose from a vacuum cleaner. Stop being a stereotype.
Dirty hose from a vacuum cleaner?
I'm guessing that they would vacuum the girl's hair into a ponytail?
That sounds dangerous.
It does sound dangerous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When her scalp comes off, you're going to have a lot of explaining to do.
It's sucking my will to live!
Number 10, open a banana by peeling from the stem like a normal person. Stop making monkeys your life coach. Monkeys don't care if their banana is smashed, but you have a shirt on. You know, I tried it the monkey way. It's retarded.
Yeah, they're monkeys.
Yeah. Number 11, just turn your windshield wipers on low. There is no prize for spending your entire commute trying to lock in the perfect intermittent setting.
Yeah, I want that clear HD look when I'm in the rain.
Number 12, if you want extra ketchup, grab another little paper ketchup cup. There's a stack of like 1,000,000 right in front of you, and they are free. Don't hold up the line by unrolling the top of your little paper ketchup cup to hold 1/8 of an ounce more. What are you, a serial killer? That is stupid, you know? Who does that?
I do like getting a lot of ketchup, but yeah, I just get more
I
of the
don't
thing.
really like ketchup, but the only reason I buy ketchup ever is because, you know, I gotta use it to make barbecue sauce.
Or a meatloaf.
No, I put my barbecue sauce in my meatloaf.
Oh, okay.
Number
Meatloaf.
13, use household cleaners to clean things around the house because vinegar smells like someone just peed on a pile of rotting fruit.
I just love the obviousness of all these.
Yeah.
Use household cleaners to clean your house.
I like this one. Number 14, get free on-demand movies by calling your cable company when you finish watching it and telling them that your toddler did it by mistake. Threaten to cancel your service if they don't agree. This one only works like 1 or 100 times depending on the direction of your moral compass.
And at the same time, you might get a better deal when you threaten to leave the company.
Right? Yeah, it's true. Number 15, wear goggles when you're chopping an onion to keep from tearing up. They also keep blood out of your eyes when you're chopping up people because what kind of psychotic freak cooks with goggles on, Dexter? There actually is a very real life hack on how to cut an onion without tearing up. Doesn't involve using goggles. All you have to do is have running water nearby.
What, the water absorbs it?
No, okay, the reason that your eyes tear up when you're cutting onions is because onions have very large cells, and they're so large that when you cut them, you're actually cutting the cells and breaking down the cellular bonds, and it causes, like, onion particles to fly up into the air, and they get in your eyes, and they cause irritation. So what you do is if you run some water near the onion or run, it doesn't even have to be over the onion, just, like, very close to it. What happens is the onion particles actually get sucked into the water flow.
Cool.
So they won't fly up in the air and hit your eyes.
So the running water actually
you don't have to look like an asshole.
I don't really care.
Number 16, use a crayon, brown marker, or furniture polish to cover scratches on wood. Or go out and find a place that'll sell you a single walnut so you can try this one thing you saw on the internet.
Well, like rub a walnut into it or something?
Yeah, that actually works, but I mean, like, I'd rather eat a walnut.
Yeah.
They're delicious. Number 17, keep milk from going bad by drinking all of it in a reasonable amount of time. And never, ever, under any circumstances, believe some nonsense on the internet that tells you to keep drinking milk past the expiration date. Gross.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about expiration dates is they're pretty arbitrary. There is no magical time determined by science when milk suddenly goes bad. Use your nose and your eyes to figure out whether it's safe to drink or not. If it smells funny, don't drink it.
If it looks chunky, if it's funky or chunky,
yeah,
don't drink.
Exactly, yeah. Number 18, use a toilet paper roll for an iPhone speaker because that was the one decoration you were missing in your cubicle. Congratulations, you just became the weird guy people are afraid to talk to. Good luck dodging all those ladies when you start rocking out to your toilet phone.
What?
You can if you cut a little slit in a toilet paper tube or a paper towel tube and insert your phone into it, it actually does make like a pretty decent speaker. The bad side is you look like a chode doing it.
Yeah, that's some low-tech, low-rent shit right there.
Yeah. Number 19, instead of taking pictures of your friends holding the thing they are borrowing from you, get new friends that don't try to steal your stuff. That's very true. And finally, number 20, just pour your pancake batter out with a spoon or a measuring cup. We don't need it in a ketchup bottle. Stop creating fixes for things that aren't broken. Have you ever tried to wash the inside of a ketchup bottle? Do you know how hard it is to pour pancake batter into a ketchup bottle? Just stop it. This wasn't a problem or a life struggle before the internet saved us all from it.
Thank you, life hacks.
Yeah, so out of 20, I'm going to give that a 19. Very enjoyable.
I'm going to give it a 20. I was laughing my head off at them.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more before we get to our submitted lists, and this is a big one from Games Radar.
Oh, games.
The 50 most important games of all time.
I played video games before.
I like video games. That's like something the Homer Simpson would say. I remember the episode where The Who were on. The Who? I love bands.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not a ranking of the 50 best games. It's a ranking of 50 games that most important to the industry for one reason or another. They could be influential. They could have been notorious. So let's see what's going on here.
They could have been so awful that, it brought about buzz about bad games.
Absolutely. Number 50 is Zork.
Ooh, I've never beaten Zork. I played the hell out of it.
It is pitch black. You are likely to be eaten by a group. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very influential game.
Mm-hmm.
Number 49, Gran Turismo.
Oh, yeah.
Gran Turismo, kind of took sim racing games and made them, fun and mainstream, Yeah,
as opposed to, NASCAR 2000 whatever,
NASCAR Thunder, yeah.
Now it's like it's something that everybody can get
Exactly.
into.
All right, number 48, E.T. And you were just saying a game so notoriously bad that it did change the industry.
It helped bring on the crash of '83.
It wasn't the only factor, but it was a factor in the crash. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Number 47, Farmville.
Oh, that's...
I can't stand this whole thing, but, I mean, it did make social gaming on Facebook a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for better or worse, it was an important game.
People even signed up for Facebook to play Farmville.
That is very true. That is very true. Number 46, Resident Evil.
Biohazard in Japan.
Yeah. To think that there was once an obscure Famicom game based on an obscure Japanese horror movie, Capcom decided to do a remake of it not based on the movie, and put it on the PlayStation. All of a sudden, the entire survival horror genre blew up.
Yeah, it was like the how do I put it? It was like the first big survival horror game.
They existed before that, but they weren't mainstream. They weren't something that people talked about,
Yeah. This was the first one everybody could kind of get into, sink their teeth into.
Number 45, RuneScape. So this is something that popularized free-to-play browser-based games.
Yeah, I know of it, but I'm not that familiar.
Something that I would never play.
Yeah.
But it was important to the industry. Number 44, King's Quest, almost the original graphical adventure game.
Oh, Quest for the Crown. Yeah.
No, King's Quest.
Yeah, King's Quest 1, Quest for the Crown.
Oh, is that what the subtitle? You know who's a very big fan is Julie.
Oh, I love...
I actually got her all the King's Quest games for her birthday once, and oh my god, I got so laid that day.
I would love to play all of them. I actually play number 5 on my channel. Go check it out!
Number 43, Dance Dance Revolution, which pretty much popularized the rhythm genre in America, at least.
And man, I was thankful that the rhythm genre even became a thing, because that's some bread and butter right up in here.
Fun. I mean, I don't play Dance Dance Revolution, but I did get caught up in like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. That was fun stuff for me. And
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw those
existed if not for Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
Number 42, Sid Meier's Civilization, the original 4X game.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was like. What's the name of that genre? It's a really weird title. 4X.
Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate.
Mm-hmm. I am shit at those. They're fun to watch.
They are fun to play, fun to watch, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, number 41, Gears of War. A lot of people don't actually realize how important Gears of War was, because what happened was they were working on Gears of War for the Xbox 360, and what they did was they showed Microsoft what the game looked like in its current development, right? And then what they did is they showed them what the game could look like if the Xbox 360 only had a little bit more RAM. And it was a huge difference. And actually, Microsoft actually wound up adding more RAM to the Xbox 360 because of Gears of War. And it wound up becoming one of the defining games of that generation because it was the first... You know how, like, when a new generation starts, at first, the games don't look all that different? But then there's one game
new
that
tech,
looks like it's finally the step forward. That was Gears of War for the 7th generation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is very important. I had no idea.
Also, they did a lot of stuff with the gameplay, the cover system and whatnot. I'm not a huge Gears of War fan, but it was an important game.
None of the people have necks.
That's true. They're all big meathead guys. Number 40, Star Siege Tribes. You know, Tribes kind of like it was Halo before Halo existed.
Wasn't that Marathon?
Yeah, but I think Tribes is before Marathon, actually.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know. Oh, well, I don't know. I've never even heard of the game before.
Yeah, Marathon was like the precursor, but I think Tribes is first. Number 39, Command and Conquer.
And then,
that's
the genre became popular.
The modern RTS genre, right there.
Yes. I'm also shit at those kinds of games. Anything where you gotta think, pretty much.
They're fun, though, Oh, but you're good at RPGs.
Yeah, but those are a little more fast-paced.
Oh, by the way, I know you weren't at my Twitch stream, but I wanted to tell you that I got, like, legitimately angry at a bunch of people. You're going to love this, for talking shit about Zelda 2.
Oh, no. What were they saying about Zelda 2?
Oh, they're idiots. But after I'm done with the Chronicles of the Dark Lord stream, I'm going to be doing Zelda 2 just to show these people how it's fucking done.
Yes! Thank you.
And I was saying, like, just because you suck at games does not mean that Zelda 2 is a bad game.
Awesome.
I know it's like your favorite game, so I want to tell you that. Number 38, SimCity. I mean, SimCity, you know, that put the whole simulation genre on the map.
Were there Sims before SimCity?
There were, but this was a popular one. It was something that anybody could get into. It was casual and it was deep. And, you know, games like Civilization or even like The Sims, that wouldn't have existed if not for SimCity.
Well, no, that was I remember playing it on Super Nintendo, and I was, again, god-awful at it.
Well, the Super Nintendo version is kind of broken, to be honest. Number 37, Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos.
So, I wonder what...
don't know that Warcraft 3 is, like, more important than Command and Conquer.
Are these ranked, or maybe they're just...
They are ranked, yeah.
Random, because they all seem important. They all seem important, but for their own reason.
One. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say that one's a miss.
I don't know. I never played the Warcraft games.
Number 36, Shenmue. I think Shenmue kind of taught the industry a lesson of high ambition and how it can bite in the ass.
Because that's a 2-disc on Dreamcast, right?
Say that again?
That's a 2-disc game on Dreamcast?
I don't know how many. I think it's just 1 disc. The thing is, like, it was planned to be, I think, like 5 parts, and
they had this whole. They had the story like almost.
Yeah,
done.
And it never ended because like Shenmue 2 came out only in Japan, and then eventually came here for the Xbox, but then it didn't sell well, and like there never was a 3, and there's no closure, you know.
Yeah, they just had to kill it.
It was an important lesson, you know. Number 35, Myst, which sort of modernized adventure games, point and clicks.
Yeah, it took like, I don't want to say photorealistic, but more realistic aspect to, you know, you can actually
also
go
its approach to puzzle solving was a huge influence on many genres.
Yeah, Myst is a fun game. Like it's dated, but it is fun.
Number 34, Metroid.
Oh, the Metroid, the expansive world. You can go anywhere kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like Metroid didn't do it like particularly amazing, but they did it first.
Yeah, like Super Metroid obviously vastly improved.
Super Metroid was like the golden standard, and then like all of a sudden like the Castlevania games are doing it, you know.
Symphony of the Night kind of.
Yeah, but
Metroid
was like the original like side-scrolling wide open world game, you know.
It was like it was almost like a proto sandbox.
You're right. It is like prototypical of that. Okay, number 33, League of Legends, and this basically taught the industry how you could put out a free game and still make a lot of money in.
Yeah, there are tournaments where people are winning like $50,000 playing League of Legends.
Number 32, Minecraft.
Oh my!
Personally, I can't stand Minecraft.
Yeah,
like,
it's Legos but more boring.
It did create a genre, and now there's like lots of imitators like Terraria and such. So
Terraria actually looks more my speed kind of thing. It's because it's side-scrolling, so. But
Steam keeps trying to jam Terraria down my throat. Like, oh, it's only $2, and I'm like, I still don't care.
$2 too much.
Yeah. Number 31, Diablo. Diablo popularized action RPGs with a Western aesthetic.
Yeah, well, I guess they're also dungeon crawlers, right?
Well, yeah, it is a dungeon crawler, but it basically took like the Western RPG, like a Baldur's Gate, or you know, and brought action into it.
It does look fun. I've never actually got around to playing it. Not that I didn't want to, just I didn't. But I have seen people.
The first Diablo was the best one in the series, in my opinion, because Diablo 2 and 3 were actually made by a completely different development team.
Huh.
The people who made Diablo left Blizzard after making it, and they made their own sequel, which was called Torchlight. Oh. And compared Diablo 2 to Torchlight, even though Diablo 2 certainly wins in popularity, Torchlight was the better game.
You played
what's funny is they recently released Torchlight 2 around the same time as Diablo 3, and once again, Diablo 3 won in terms of sales and popularity. But ask anyone who's played them both, and they'll tell you Torchlight 3 is the real Diablo 3. You know, Torchlight 2 is the real Diablo 3.
Have you played them? You like them?
They're online only, so I don't play them, but, I know people who are into them. Number 30, Halo 2.
Was that for, like, online stuff?
I think what it was that it was an important, like, launch title for Xbox 360, even though I think it was also on the original Xbox.
Yeah, I thought number 2 was on Xbox, but it was like the big. It like opened up Xbox Live, and everybody started playing it.
If you're gonna pick a Halo game, wouldn't you just like pick the first one?
Maybe it's further down the line.
Who knows? Number 29, the original version, Tomb Raider.
Blocky tits.
Why was Tomb Raider so important to the industry? I think it was detrimental, to be honest.
Detrimental, so it wasn't important.
I think it hurt the industry, but maybe that's why it's here, because I think, honestly, you with Tomb Raider, they took the idea of a female protagonist and basically set the whole thing back by 10 years, I thought. What? Because she had no character, she had no attributes other than, long legs and big hooters.
Yeah, and PlayStation 1 hooters.
Yeah, well, yeah. And not to mention that it's really not that great of a game. I mean, the exploration aspects are fun, but the actual gameplay?
I hate tank controls.
Terrible controls. You want to play a good Tomb Raider game, the new game, Tomb Raider, for like Xbox 360 and PS3. Very good game.
Oh, the new relaunch?
Very good game, yes. That is the first good Tomb Raider. And it's actually going to get a sequel. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, Rise, and then Dawn of the Tomb Raider, and Battle for the Tomb Raider.
No. Number 28, Final Fantasy VII, taking the nerdiest of nerd genres and making it mainstream.
FF7!
Is this an overrated game? Absolutely. Does that mean it's bad? Absolutely not. It's an absolutely great game.
It's just another good game in the series for me.
It's just that, if you compare it to 6, it kind of loses.
Mm-hmm.
I just got 6 on PSN just because I felt like playing it again.
And it took you back?
Oh, yeah. I'm playing it real slow to really, enjoy it. I'm going, I've been playing, some old PSN games on my Vita, and I've been going back and forth between Final Fantasy VI and Wild Arms.
Oh, Wild Arms. Man, I think I played Wild Arms when it came out.
Well, I never played Wild Arms.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to try it out. I think I love the graphics in it.
I do like the style.
Yeah. Number 27, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
And that's when Call of Duty finally, it became its own, the Call of Duty.
It stepped away from being the Medal of Honor killer and became its own thing. It introduced the modern setting into first-person shooters, and it was a huge thing of storytelling, of multiplayer, and, say what you will about what happened after that, whether you think it's a positive thing or a negative thing, but it did shape the industry.
And it looks like they really do put a lot of time and effort. You can't just, meld something quickly together like a Madden 2014 or something like that.
The people who say that every year COD is just new maps and guns are only playing the multiplayer. Every year you get a new story with some great actors in it, some great set pieces. All the people say, oh, Ghost was disappointing because they felt that the multiplayer was cut and paste from, Black Ops 2,
Mm-hmm.
But fucking play the campaign, it's awesome. Modern Warfare was really amazing. Was it the best game in the series? No. But it certainly was the most important.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
Number 26, StarCraft. This took the RTS genre and made it into a fast-paced thing,
Yeah, never really been one to play StarCraft, but
I played it once, and I did enjoy it, but it's not something I see myself playing all the time.
They would have, Twitch channels with commentators, saying what the hell's going on,
And StarCraft has become an esport, like you mentioned League of Legends was.
I was going to say, it's one of the, things that kind of got esports really rolling.
Yeah. Number 25, Metal Gear Solid. Not a fan of the game myself, but it did do a lot for storytelling in games. It did do a lot for making games cinematic, and I got to say that, like I said, it did help Sony. It helped the PlayStation. It helped Konami stay relevant.
It helped Kojima have his own freaking empire.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not like really a fan, but
I'm a massive.
You can't deny that it had a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
Number 24, Tetris.
Puzzle games.
Tetris not only was it important for puzzle games, but it also was important for getting people who are not gamers into video games.
Yeah, I guess it was the birth of the casual market? No, I can't.
It kind of was. It really was. You're right.
Yeah, because I mean,
you could say Pac-Man was the birth of the casual market, but and Tetris was like the second coming, maybe, you know?
Because I remember when I got my Game Boy, like the year that it came out, like
came with Tetris. I mean,
like 1990 or whatever, and I got it, and I would go out. My dad would take me out fishing, and I thought fishing was boring as hell, and he knew this, but he wanted me to get outside for fresh air, so I would bring my Game Boy out there and just play it on the boat, and then he said one time, why don't we switch? You know, you take
fish, and he plays the game.
He would actually try Tetris, and he would get frustrated. And I said, and I was like, you know, this is boring. I want to play it again because I could hear him play.
He's like, I'm gonna get.
Yeah, he's like, hold on. Like,
yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah.
Number 23, Virtua Racing. This was, you know, I mean, like, it wasn't a really like big game, but it was one of the first times a lot of people saw polygons.
And they looked like polygons, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the first ever polygon game, but it was sort of like a very, it was very out there, like you could see it, you know, it wasn't some obscure title.
Yeah, like Virtua Fighter was just around the corner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Number 22, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Oh.
This was sort of like the birth of the AAA title, too.
And where, you know, everybody says, oh, it's the greatest game of all time, greatest game of all time. And I don't know, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. It's really a matter of taste. But I can see it just changed the industry. Like, people, 64 was like, you know, some good games, I guess. But Ocarina of Time really put it on the map.
Yeah. Well, it showed people that there was a method to Nintendo's madness. And there always is a method to their madness.
Well, I hope they do something soon. Jesus.
They're actually not doing as bad as they were like a couple of months ago. So, and Mario Kart 8 really turned things around for them.
Yeah, but they've cut a bigger loss this year than they had planned.
Yeah, but like I said, it's turning around. You know what I mean?
Turn the car around.
Number 21, World of Warcraft. You know, MMOs existed before then, obviously, but this was the first one I remember hearing, you know, in the mainstream all the time. I remember people who you just never would think would be into something so nerdy would be talking about WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think it's a disease, but it was important to the industry.
I just keep thinking of that South Park episode where they're trying to get
that episode.
What is it? Stan's dad is having to deliver some like USB
the Sword of a Thousand Truths.
Yes.
You can't entrust the Sword of a Thousand Truths to a noob. All right, number 20 is another one that I think had a very negative impact on the gaming industry, but a huge impact, Angry Birds.
Oh, it brought casual gaming to the forefront of...
What I think it did is it proved that you can take a Flash game that has existed for years, make it into an app, and make millions of dollars by ripping it off.
What was it called before?
Crush the Castle.
Holy shit, you're right.
Crush the Castle existed long before Angry Birds, just like Candy Twist existed before Candy Crush Saga. Well, those are all ripoffs of Bejeweled anyway, but...
Mm-hmm.
Number 19, GoldenEye 007, taking first-person shooters and making them a thing on consoles, and also the multiplayer was huge.
Oh, yeah. That's all I ever played during exams in high school. Like, in between exams, we had large chunks, like hours and hours of time. And
GoldenEye time, yeah.
And it was GoldenEye time. Everybody would go upstairs in the student center, and we would just put it on one, because we're all visually impaired, we would put it on one bullet kill.
Oh, nice.
So then, and we kind of turned up the sound, and we turned the music down, so it'd be like walking.
Number 18, one of the games responsible for the existence of the ESRB, Mortal Kombat.
I was hoping you were going to say Night Trap.
Night Trap is the other big one, but Mortal Kombat became a huge phenomenon and a huge series of games, whereas Night Trap sucked.
Yeah, it's more than just a helper of the creator of ESRB.
Exactly. It was also not like a great game, but it was a good enough game that people kept playing it.
And people were like, look at these digitized people. How did they do it? You know?
Which is interesting because digitized graphics existed before that, too.
Yeah, but probably not as...
But think of all the tropes that they created, fatality,
Secret character? I don't know about that. For fighting game? I guess there weren't really that many fighting games at that point.
There were, yeah. I mean, you're thinking of Reptile, right?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Number 17, Super Mario 64. We were just talking about this earlier, too.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario 64 took 3D gaming and made it good. And you know what's funny is, you ever notice that the camera controls in those early 3D games are never as good as Super Mario 64?
Why didn't they just make them like that?
You know why?
Why?
Nintendo had a patent on that.
Really?
Yeah. They actually had a patent on using the C buttons to control the camera.
And that's what I thought they were always going to be used for when I first got my 64.
Well, that's because the Nintendo 64 controller was designed around Super Mario 64.
Well, you could certainly tell because it felt very comfortable playing with
Absolutely. All right, number 16, we're going classic on this one, Space Invaders.
Whoa, that kind of blew up arcades more than anything.
You know what the most interesting thing about Space Invaders is that it inspired two people you might have heard of. One was Shigeru Miyamoto, and the other Hideo Kojima.
Kojima, yeah.
They both got inspired to break into the video game industry because of Space Invaders.
And did you know with Space... probably everybody knows this, but the reason why they speed up so much?
Oh, well, it's a glitch.
Yeah. But it was like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Number 15, Quake.
Another first-person shooter.
Quake kind of like took what Doom had created and kind of stepped it up a little bit. Like in terms of the multiplayer, Doom invented the term deathmatch, but Quake was the game that popularized it.
And like Quake Wars, all that.
Well, that was way later.
Yeah, I guess.
But
so.
Quake was the original esport too.
Yeah, man.
Matter of fact, QuakeCon.
Oh,
this man.
Have your LAN parties.
Yeah, QuakeCon is still a thing. As a matter of fact, by the way, did you know that they just had QuakeCon just like 2 weeks ago, and lucky bastards that were there got to see Doom.
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They locked it down though. Nobody was able to record anything. But
Smart.
The people who saw it said that it looks amazing. They said it's like it should have been. They said it's just hordes and hordes of enemies. Lots of action, constant carnage.
As it should be. It's Doom.
Well, Doom 3 was kind of like a little more like survival horror-ish.
With your flashlight and whatnot?
Like it wasn't a bad game, but it didn't feel like Doom. I like Doom 3. But it didn't feel like a Doom game to me.
That's okay.
Number 14, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was the first game to have different stages.
I was going to say multi-level game.
Shigeru Miyamoto came up with the idea that when you finish the first stage, instead of just becoming faster, it would go to a completely different stage. The programmers thought he was nuts. They told him that they felt like they were being ripped off. They were making 4 games for the price of one. Imagine that kind of mentality,
Well, I guess, for the time, it probably took a long time
also,
to create the one thing.
The first appearance of Mario.
Jumpman.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't called Mario, but that was his first appearance. Number 13, another game we were just talking about not too long ago, Street Fighter 2. Fighting games existed before that in that form, but they sucked.
Street Fighter.
The original Street Fighter, Yaya Kung Fu, Karate Champ,
Karate Champ.
They weren't that good.
It was Street Fighter 2 that
was awesome.
Yeah, it kind of established it.
Like Space Invaders, its defining feature, the combo system, was a glitch.
Oh, like you weren't meant to...
It was meant to be like Street Fighter 1 hit at a time.
Huh.
And they discovered the glitch, and they decided to leave it in because they felt like it was too hard to pull off anyway, which of course, I mean, and once again, it became an esport. There are tournaments still to this day. EVO, which is a huge, huge gaming tournament scene that happens every year, just happened not too long ago, exists because of Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, it all began with Street Fighter 2. Like if they hadn't had a second bite of the apple with the Street Fighter series.
Well, you know what's funny is they were making a sequel to Street Fighter. It was called Street Fighter 89, as in like 1989. But they showed it at trade shows. People said it's a great game, but it has nothing to do with Street Fighter. They renamed it. That wound up being Final Fight.
Ah, with Hagar the Mayor.
Yeah, Hagar and Guy and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who have all been in Street Fighter games now.
Which one was Hagar in?
Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Ah, okay. I guess it counts.
Number 12. Another game we were just talking about a little while ago, Pac-Man.
Hey, Pac-Man.
First game I ever played, and always will hold a very, very close place in my heart.
I had actually waited a little while before I ever played it because by that time I'd played Mario 1, Mario 2. Graphics were getting better, and I was like, I don't really want to play this old 1980s.
Yeah, and then when you play it, it's like, oh, this is actually very fun, you know? You know, Pac-Man originally was conceived as a game for women.
Why?
The guy who created it, he was this low-level employee at Namco at the time. He'd go to arcades, and he would notice that guys would go there, and they would drag their girlfriends there, and they would be playing the games, and the girls would just kind of be bored. He wanted a game that when women were at arcades that they would be attracted to. He didn't want to do something violent. He didn't want to do something, crazy, complicated. So he created something that was fun and simple. And that's how Pac-Man came about.
Cool.
Obviously, it became popular with everyone, but it was specifically designed to resonate with women who were being dragged to arcades by their boyfriends or their husbands, and were not attracted to Space Invaders or Galaga or any of those like violent space shooters, you know. And
wasn't that one of the first games that had a kill screen?
Well,
or maybe there were games before that.
The kill screen was that's a glitch.
Yeah. So, well, I'm not saying it was meant to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was the first or not. Number 11, Wii Sports. You know, this revived the Pac-In title.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great showcase of motion controls. And like we talked about earlier with Tetris, it got people who are not into games into games.
Yeah, or as I like to call it, Wii bowling. It's the only one I like to play.
That's true, yeah. The tennis ain't bad.
I can't see the tennis for crap.
Oh, okay. That's all you mean, yeah. All right, number 10, Grand Theft Auto 3. You know, took a series that was like really obscure, made it into a huge phenomenon, and spawned countless imitators.
Like I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 before 3 had come out, just because, I don't know, I was trying some PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's fine.
Yeah, this ain't bad, but it'll never go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like Grand Theft Auto 3 comes out.
It's fun to run over people for a little while, and then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's like...
Number 9, this is a game I'm not a real big fan of, but it did change the industry. Half-Life brought storytelling into first-person shooters. As a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't have a Call of Duty if it wasn't for Half-Life.
And that's saying something, considering people, see the Call of Duty series.
The thing that Half-Life did that was, like, I didn't like the gameplay.
No?
No, because I felt that it was not enough action. The second one did a lot better. But the thing that Half-Life did was they told a story without using cutscenes.
Yeah, like it was all in-game,
yeah.
Right?
And that's important because it doesn't take you out of it at any point. Number 8, Pokemon, original red and blue versions. Obviously, not only did this, take the Mon genre and make it huge, but it also revitalized the aging Game Boy hardware.
Yeah, just when it was about to go out the window.
Absolutely.
And the whole, Pokemon and Digimon and Battle Monster collection.
Yeah, the Mon genre.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It existed before Pokemon, but it wasn't nearly as big. Number 7, EverQuest. EverQuest was sort of like WoW before WoW.
And I think it's still going.
Well, they have an EverQuest 2 now.
Well, oh, yeah, but I mean, like, they still online. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen people play, and I'm just like, this is the douchiest thing I've ever seen. I was watching like somebody play, and this guy was like swinging these two huge logs. That was his weapon. He was dual welding logs, and he's like swinging them wildly, trying to kill like a cockroach. And I'm like, step on the fucking thing.
That's funny.
It's not even like a huge monster cockroach, like a regular sized cockroach.
Cockroach.
Yeah. Number 6, The Legend of Zelda.
Oh my god.
First game to have battery saves.
That alone should put it on the list.
Absolutely. And then the fact that it was also an amazing title, easily cements it for top 10.
And that's like another, open world thing. You could go to...
Action RPG without the nonsense, Like really simple, easy to play. Anybody can pick up Zelda and just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 5, The Sims. The highest selling PC game of all time.
Get out of here, really.
Absolutely.
What do you think of The Sims?
Absolutely terrible. Would not play it to save my life. I hate that series, but you cannot deny the impact it had. My sister was into it. I think like the people who were into it, I think they're kind of sick though. I mean, like they're like, oh, you could like torture the Sims and I'm like, well, like that kind of makes you sick, don't you think? Like, that would you get pleasure from like torturing virtual people?
Like put them all into the pool and
see, like,
drain the water.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I'll like go on like Call of Duty and shoot terrorists in the face, but like they deserve it. They're terrorists.
They deserve it. Yeah. Well, maybe
number 4, one of my favorites, Doom.
It's very strange. I had the shareware version of Doom.
So you had Knee Deep in the Dead.
And yet,
yeah,
it came with my our computer at the time, but we had the full version of Doom 2 that also came with it.
Well,
very
Doom
weird.
2 did not have a shareware version.
No, but I don't know why we had like one shareware and then Doom 2 we just got the
I don't know.
game.
I don't know, but the shareware version, like Doom was not the first shareware game either, but it was like so popular. It became, I mean, that like Knee Deep in the Dead might have been like the most played 9 levels of video games ever.
And it's like the demo before the demo.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, shareware was not a new thing, but also, I mean, Doom did a lot, multiplayer, and of course, like, it took everything that Wolfenstein 3D did and did it better.
Yeah. The levels actually looked more explorable.
I mean, there were stairs and multiple levels, and there was colors and different lighting effects, and there was more than 3 guns. I mean,
more than like 5 enemies.
Wolfenstein 3D was important because it came first, but Doom was more important because it did it better.
Mm-hmm. It made it
the hellish setting, the controversy surrounding it.
Yeah, it's important for many, many reasons.
All right, number 3, and I kind of disagree with this because I feel this game should be number 1, Super Mario Brothers. I can't think of a game that I would say is more important to the industry than Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers saved the video game industry.
Mm-hmm. Like it had long scrolling levels.
Yeah, I mean, like you could say that, like Pac-Land did a lot of that first, but kind of like Wolfenstein 3D, like yes, Pac-Land was first. Super Mario Brothers did everything Pac-Land did and did it better.
There you go. And it made it easily digestible. It wasn't violent in any sense. Well, okay, you're squishing Goombas, but I mean, come on.
It's only violent if you really put a lot of thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 2 is Pong. Yeah. I don't feel it's as important as Super Mario Brothers, but it is a really important game.
Well, didn't it kind of start kicking the entire video game industry as an industry? Like, we'll make multiple Pong machines. We'll make multiple Pong arcades. Not just have this one
but
computer space machine.
The industry that Pong created crashed and burned, and Super Mario Brothers resurrected it.
Well, there you go. Without the originator, you wouldn't have the innovator.
Okay, so their number 1 pick, Space War.
Okay, yeah, that's like the first video game, right?
Like I said in Clear Confusion, it depends on how you define video game. It came out in 1961. I could go back to the 40s and point out things that you might call video games, but like the cathode ray tube amusement device. Space War was not sold commercially. The the first commercially sold video game, I think, was probably, XOXO or Noughts and Crosses for PC. But Space War, I think what it did was it kind of created the idea that this could one day be an industry, because it was created as a testing tool for people to test these test these computers out, and it wound up being fun. And
so it was conceived as a game.
The idea that a tool used to test the parameters of computers could be fun kind of changed the way of people thinking, because nobody thought of computers as fun in the 1960s.
Oh, no, they were just word processors, pretty much.
They weren't even that then. They weren't even that. They were math machines.
Oh, yeah, those cards you had to
yeah, absolutely.
Insert and remove.
Yeah. And Space War was also kind of like the first fantastical setting, because everything before that was like a recreation of tennis,
Tennis for two.
Yeah, everything was a recreation of some sort of real-world sport, whether it was tennis or ping pong or whatever, whereas Space War was spaceships in space shooting each other. So I get it. I get why I just do think that Super Mario Brothers should have been number 1. I would probably put Space War at number 2, and then Pong at number 3. But you know what? This was a great list. I can't disagree with anything that's on there. Maybe the order at the top a little bit, but I'm not going to take a lot of. I'm going to give it a 47 out of 50.
I'm going to be a little more generous and give it a 49.
49. Okay. Cool.
I think maybe the list might have been a little skewed in the middle, but that's pulling hairs.
I think you mean splitting hairs.
No, it's pulling hairs.
Whatever works for you. All right, let's get to our submitted list. Here's one from The Escapist magazine, submitted by Alex Shannon, and I didn't even know what this is supposed to be, but it says 8 things that sunk like the Titanic.
Waterworld.
Okay, well, they're talking about just failures.
Okay, yeah.
Because the first one on here is the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, that was very sad.
I love the picture here. They have the picture of the Virtual Boy, the controller, or the AC adapter, and then 5 games there. And I see Vertical Force, Mario Clash, Wario Land, Telro Boxer, and Mario Tennis. And that's really all you would ever need.
Or just 50 copies of Wario Land.
I like that Sid Lexia list, right?
Yes, I love that list.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost kind of hard to believe that Nintendo ever thought that would really sell at all.
Didn't people test it? They must have.
I think that they were banking on a fad that never happened, which was the virtual reality fad.
Yeah, those Battlezone style graphic thing.
Yeah.
Before their time.
Next on here, we have Okami, which was a wonderful, beautiful game that tanked.
Really?
Absolutely did not make any money.
Because it does look really nice.
Oh, it was an amazing game. Just imagine an artisanal version of Zelda, if you want to describe it simply. Did not sell very well. They lost money on that.
Oh, they lost money on Okami. Go figure. That's crazy.
That happens with a lot of artistic titles. Next one here, the Atari Jaguar.
Oh,
yeah. That is all video game stuff.
Cool.
The Jaguar is another thing where you kind of have to go back and wonder how they ever thought it was going to work. I mean, they were banking on just big numbers selling it, and
it's not really 64 bits.
No matter how much of a graphics whore you are, no matter how much of a technology whore you are, nobody wants to play bad games.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the resurgence of all these 8-bit indie games that are amazing, Yeah,
nobody wants to play bad games. You might be a total technology whore, but that doesn't mean that you want to play a game that's not fun.
Nobody wants to play, a $60 tech demo that doesn't work.
Okay, see, I kind of disagree with this one, because the next one is E.T. And E.T. had a very negative impact in the industry. We just talked about this a little while ago. What they're forgetting here is that it was a huge seller.
Yeah, it did sell games.
It was the second. I think it was the 7th highest selling game on the Atari.
Which is saying
so. It made a lot of money. People saying, oh, they buried them in the desert and whatnot, and kind of recently they did the thing where they were digging up games, and they found like a bunch of the ET Of course, they also found a lot of other cartridges and a lot of other hardware, which proved the point that I had always made, that it wasn't just ET that was being buried. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, it had a negative impact, but it wasn't ET that sunk. It was the industry that sunk, and it wasn't only because of ET. It was Pac-Man. It was Chase the Chuckwagon. It was a lot of things.
Chase the Chuckwagon. I forgot about that game.
It's good to forget about that game.
Yeah.
And the fifth on the list here is the N-Gage. I mean, I remember the N-Gage as being something that you just laughed at. I don't think anybody took it seriously, except for possibly Nokia.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe some of the employees were like laughing along.
It was stupid. It was expensive. It was a bad phone. It was a bad video gaming console. And to change games, you had to take the damn thing apart.
I was wondering how the actual phone aspect of the system.
The phone was terrible because you didn't hold it up to you didn't hold it up to your cheek because they thought, oh well, then the screen would be against your cheek, so we'll have it where you hold it like sideways. Which is stupid, because, like, how do you hold a smartphone? Just the screen's against your cheek, or you put it on speaker, you know?
Yeah, it's no big deal.
But people thought that was a big deal, and they designed it really poorly. It looks like a fucking taco.
Like those prototype PS3 controllers.
Those look like boomerangs to me.
Or boomerang, yeah, sorry.
No, you know what else looked like a taco was the original Game Boy Advance, but that's a good taco.
Delicious. I had a purple one.
I had the purple one? Sixth on the list is another really, really great game like Okami the Tank, is Psychonauts.
Oh, yeah. Just the idea you're going inside these weird people's heads.
Really cool game. Played very well. Good graphics, good music, good gameplay, everything. Just one of those, like, super quirky artistic games that didn't sell a lot of copies. It just was a critical darling.
Maybe it was marketing?
It could have been, and I think, they had a mascot there. They really could have sold that, but I don't know what. Brutal Legend is next. Brutal Legend, I think the marketing actually worked against it because they made it seem like it was like a 3D hack and slash thing.
And it was not.
And it's an RTS.
Yeah, so people
get it. I should mention that it was released in the same week as Uncharted 2, Batman Arkham Asylum, and Modern Warfare 2.
You had they were up against the wall.
A quirky, Tim Schafer game around the same time as an Arkham game, Uncharted, and Call of Duty. It's just asking for it. You could have just delayed it a little, you know what I mean?
Even by a week, that way everybody gets, that the other games out of their system.
Absolutely. And last on here is Duke Nukem Forever, which I want to point out that, I actually bought it, by the way. I haven't played it, but I bought it. It was on sale $5. And, my friend Andrew, he had bought it when it first came out and played it. He didn't like it. He went back to it and said, you know what? It's not a bad game. It's just not really great.
It's just the hype.
It's mediocre. It's like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Here's the thing. Like E.T., believe it or not, Duke Nukem Forever, even after 14 years of development, millions of dollars sunk into it, having spent all the money they made on Duke Nukem 3D, and then losing money and having to fire everyone and everybody working without money for a while and Gearbox having to come in and polish it up, it still made a profit.
Really? They did not lose money?
Yeah. You know what really saved them was the DLC. The DLC is actually considerably better than the actual game, and they made a lot of money off of that.
I didn't know there was any DLC. I just kind of forgot about Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, part of the problem with Duke Nukem Forever was a lot of the humor and the aesthetics of it was very dated because it was meant to come out in 1998, and it didn't change all that much other than the graphics and gameplay. But the DLC is a lot. It's created with a more modern setting, and it's more of self-parody, which is what it should have been if you're going to release it in 2011. But I don't agree with Duke Nukem 3D, Duke Nukem Forever being on here, and I don't agree with E.T. being on here. That being said, interesting list. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 8. What do you say?
Out of 8? I thought a lot of them made sense, but I do see the folly of putting E.T. on there because it did make a profit. So I'm going to give it 7. I'm going to knock it for E.T.
Okay. All right, so let me take that off of my list here. Okay. Here's one from Crack.com. Also submitted by Alex. probably one of my favorite websites on the internet. 4 victims we have to stop feeling sorry for. Written by Adam Todd Brown.
Ooh, small list, okay.
Number 4, people who get stranded while on absurd adventures. You know, and the first thing that came to my mind is this exact example they're using. There was that that 16-year-old girl who was trying to sail across the Atlantic by herself. She got stranded. What do you expect happened?
A 16-year-old sailing across the Atlantic
By
Good
herself.
Luck. Good luck.
Yeah. Number 3, people who visit unlicensed plastic surgeons. You see this thing on the court shows like, oh, this bitch was supposed to give me butt implants and she injected cement into my ass. And it's like, well, what the fuck, man? You're meeting someone in a hotel to inject something in your ass to make it bigger. What do you think's going to happen? You know what? If you want your
rickety
ass,
buttitis.
if you want your ass to be bigger, take up twerking, okay?
Yeah.
Because we all like that.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Dead ass. I'm not even that much of an
Yeah.
ass guy, but when I see girls doing that, it is hot. I mean,
I think it looks silly.
yeah, it looks silly, but it's also sexy at the same time.
All right.
Number 2, people who get offended at comedy clubs. It's one who like bring up something Stephen Yu said once. He's a comedian I have a lot of respect for. He said, you know, so what if you're offended? Nothing happens. It's not like you die or anything. He says it's not like you go to I went to the comedian and he said something about the Lord and I was offended and then the next morning I had leprosy. It's true. And number 1, people who get too close to wild animals.
Man, oh, look at the cute little lion. You know what lions do, right?
You know what's
But
funny is lions are probably safer than a lot of other, like tigers are one animal you really don't want to get near.
Or bears.
Bears you don't want to get near. Polar bears especially.
Oh, they're ferocious.
I actually, when I was in elementary school, I didn't know the kid, but there was a kid who got eaten by polar bears that went to my school.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I was in the 5th grade. He was a lot younger. I was in the 5th grade, and he was in, like, kindergarten or 1st grade, and it was in the news and everything. He was at the Central Park Zoo. He climbed into the polar bear habitat because he wanted to swim in the water, and the polar bears mauled him to death.
Oh.
They are bears. They are vicious wild animals. It's not their fault to do that either. You invaded their area. They're stressed out enough being stared at all day. They're completely out of their habitat. You know what I mean?
Stephen Colbert said it best. They're godless killing machines.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, they're not the cutesy little teddy bears on the Coca-Cola can. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that would be so awesome to have a Coke with a bear.
No, out of 4, I'm going to say 4. That was absolutely correct.
I agree with all of them. Yes, 4.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got here? How about, here's one from Alex Shannon. Transcribed from one Verata Serum's 10 Facts About Great White Sharks.
Ooh, Shark Week. Here we go.
Great white shark. Okay, number 1. White sharks are live birthed, usually in litters of about 4 to 7 individuals. Now they're called pups, but when they're born, they're between 1.2 and 1.5 meters, so that's a pretty big baby.
Ooh.
I didn't know that they were live birth.
Feel bad. Yeah, feel bad for the mom just shooting at a 1 meter baby.
Look at the size of the mom.
That's true.
Yeah. Number 2, it takes a great white shark about 10 to 12 years to reach maturity, at which point the females are about a meter longer than the males, the largest recorded being over 6 meters, roughly the size of a medium speedboat. At this length, they'd weigh about 6,600 pounds. Oh, man. Now, there are stories of some great white sharks being over 7 meters, but those are unsubstantiated.
That's some jaws right there, man.
Yeah. Number 3, white sharks are warm-bodied. They're not warm-blooded like us. They can't maintain a perfectly stable temperature, but their internal organs are kept at up to 24 imperial degrees above the ambient temperature of the water around them. Heat generated by their muscles is actually transferred from their muscles into their veins as it returns from their extremities, so it warms up and keeps the core temperature a little bit hotter. This allows the shark to venture into colder waters and also to have explosive power. Its muscles work a lot better when warm than when cold, just like ours. So these really are just like highly efficient killing machines.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at their teeth.
Everything.
Look at them.
Yeah, it's just like from an evolutionary standpoint designed to murder everything.
Yeah, and just their muscles. Everything is power.
Yeah. Number 4, the power and speed, too.
Yeah.
The trade-off is the shark requires about 10 times as much energy as it did if it didn't heat its body that way. That's why they need to feed on these blubber-rich seals and whale carcasses.
So they're kind of like
so it needs
personal trainers.
It needs to kill to have fuel to kill. I said they're just designed to kill.
Talking about a vicious cycle,
right.
But they're kind of like you hear these trainers who are like, I gotta eat like 500,000 carbs a day. Like maybe sharks need to as well.
Yeah, right. Dogs going ballistic.
Yeah,
Number 5,
masters are
sharks
home.
like to hunt when it's light out because they use their eyesight to spot their prey. When they open their jaws, their eyes actually roll back into their head to protect them, and so they're actually blind when they're taking a bite.
God, yeah, I've seen like slow motion footage of a shark like starting to bite something. It looks horrific.
Wow. What were they biting?
It's just like this. It's like a fake fish thing. And it's like all controlled.
Like a lure, in other words.
Yeah, pretty much a giant lure.
Number 6. Now they do like conditions that are a little bit low visibility because they rely on stealth to track down their prey. If a seal spots them coming, it's basically game over because the seal is so much more maneuverable and it can definitely get away from the shark. Is that enough?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Number 7, but they only eat sea mammals after they're about 2.5 meters long, which is why most of the sharks we're seeing around here are quite large. Before that, their diet consists mainly of fish.
Yeah, I pretty much assume. I wonder if like fish just accidentally wander into their gaping maw at any time. And it's like,
well, they're not smart.
It's like a little accidental snack.
Like a bonus, yeah. Number 8, the gestation period of a great white is thought to be about 18 months, and that leads to 2 to 3 year reproduction cycle with such small litters that it means it takes a long time for the shark population to recover. Good.
That's why. Yeah, that's why people were like, "Oh, they're going extinct. They're going extinct." Well, they just don't bone that much.
Yeah. Number 9, there are a couple of misconceptions about great white sharks. One is that they can't get cancer, and this led to a lot of people hunting them down, trying to use their fins as an anti-cancer soup. But in reality, sharks get cancer just like anything else, and there's photographic evidence of sharks with big tumors, so it makes no sense to hunt sharks as a cancer remedy because they get cancer like we do.
Oh, that would look so sad. Shark with a giant tumor.
Do you really feel bad for the great white shark?
Well, maybe it's not a tumor.
No, it's not a tumor. Number 10, another misconception is sharks are coastal creatures that just cruise the beaches waiting to bite people. In reality, the sharks spend much of their time way, way out at sea, and usually very deep, over a kilometer deep. It's kind of shocking, but we've only found this out in the last couple of years, so there's much about sharks that remains undiscovered. We don't know where they go or what they do for most of the time that they're alive. That's why research projects like this are so important, to find out a lot about the sharks and figure out how we can help rehabilitate it and become the predator of the sea that it once was, because apparently we need more killing machines.
Do we really?
According to these people, we do. All right, out of 10, it was very interesting. I'm going to give it a 9.
I'm going to give it a full 10. I thought they were all very interesting.
Okay, cool. All right, let's see. I got something from Poofnisse here. Let's see what this is all about. Poofnisse. Google Street View fails. 40 what-the-fuck photos with no explanation. All right. Okay. So first off, there's just these two guys in suits talking, and one of them is holding a rifle for, apparently no reason at all.
Dude in a suit with a rifle. You know shit's going down.
Yeah, right. It's Hitman. This next one appears to be a man just wearing track pants and nothing else, chasing a baboon with a baseball bat.
Oh, man, that one must have really done something awful.
That's really weird. All right. Next one we have a naked man climbing out of the trunk of a car with a sleeping dog next to him.
I don't like where that's going, or where it went,
There's a lot of weird shit going on there. All right, next we got, those the bicycles with the one big wheel and the little wheel, the penny farthings?
Yeah, the originator?
Yeah. The guy's riding a huge penny farthing, but attached to the back of it is like a little basket with a monkey in it.
Oh, that's adorable.
Very strange. Like reverse ET.
Yeah.
Here's a guy in a van with like Hello Kitty shit all over it, pulling up to a woman that is very obviously a prostitute.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that either.
There's so many connotations.
Oh, this is from Pittsburgh. It's just two guys LARPing. They're wearing medieval armor, fighting with swords.
I just like how casual you were about it. It's just Pittsburgh.
This just looks like something like that they must have set up for the Google Street View thing. It's just a guy who looks like a mad scientist pointing a laser at two other scientists who have lights over their eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, maybe some of these really are set up to just kind of throw you off.
Somebody apparently proposed their marriage in Google Street View. They must have seen the van coming. And these guys, there's a whole crowd there, but the guy in the middle is holding up a sign, Proposal 2.0, marry me, Leslie.
Proposal 2.0.
Yeah. Maybe she said no the first time.
I wonder if that means... is this his second attempt at marriage with somebody? Like maybe he's divorced, or maybe it's the second time with this lady.
How about a couple of guys sitting on lawn chairs in a parking lot, relaxing, reading newspapers, wearing full scuba gear?
Maybe they're waiting for the tide to come in.
I swear these people hear that the Google van is coming, and they just set up these weird things. His looks like the same two guys with the scuba gear walking down the middle of the street. One of them's holding a rake.
They're like, all right, it's going to come around the corner. Let's go run over here.
The next one's just like another hooker. Not impressive.
Just a hooker.
Yeah. A couple of girls in bikinis. It's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So straight
I'm glad it's on there.
Whoa. What's going on here? Looks like somebody's getting a side-of-the-road Hummer.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a couple fucking up against a car.
For real?
That's what it looks like.
Google View.
Guy strangling a woman. Looks staged. Looks like they're having fun, actually.
Oh, like, oh, you crazy, come here.
Yeah. There's a guy spanking a woman on the ass.
Not bad, as long as she's, like, harder.
A little tiny trash can with the guy's head poking out of it. Sideways. With a big fucking smile on his face.
Oh, I was going to say Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. It's like a police car and a bunch of people standing around, and that could be a body bag over there, so I'm just going to click the next one.
Oh, dear.
How about somebody set up like a little mannequin of like an alien sitting on a lawn chair?
Oh, great.
Why not? A van on fire?
I like that.
Yeah.
As long as there's nobody in it, oh my god.
Well, I hope not. Here is a guy dressed like a skeleton driving one of those motor scooters that you find at like Walmart.
Oh, like the little...
Yeah, motorized scooter. A tiger walking through a parking lot.
Tiger!
Yeah. Tiger parking lot. This is another picture that's so obviously set up where this woman's lying on the ground with her, legs spread out, and there's this guy kneeling down and picking up like what looks like a baby, like she's giving birth or something.
Oh,
like
so random, you guys.
Yeah. Here's a guy taking a shit behind a car.
Can you think of a better place?
And escape from the Google Street View van. Here's another person who obviously heard the van was coming because they're dressed like Waldo and waving at the camera.
Oh, we found him.
Found him. A bunch of people dressed like golden robots walking down the street. Must be street performers.
Sweet, golden robots.
Robot balls. A whole line of people who are wearing eagle masks.
Like the Philadelphia Eagles?
No, like an actual eagle.
Hmm.
Here's another one that's like set up. A couple of people wearing horror masks standing around in the middle of the road.
All right.
Yep, and the person in that horse mask that you see on the internet sometimes, just standing there.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the exact one you mean.
Another horse mask one. Next.
How original.
This looks like a person who set up a photo to look like they're like trapped in a trunk or something. So low res, it's hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah.
There's just a baby crawling around outside of a Gucci store by itself, nobody around. Kind of sad.
Aww.
Looks like a gang war in the next photo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bloods and Crips.
And I don't know what's so strange about this. There's nothing wrong with this picture, so I'm just gonna click next. Guy in a prison outfit with a bag over his head running down the road.
Oh, I hope it's fake.
There's a guy who looks like he's whipping out his cock in front of some chick.
Oh, dude, come on.
There's a guy with half of his body down a manhole cover while the other guy holds his feet. They look like they're workers, though. They got the orange vests on.
Okay.
Got a dog halfway stuck through a fence. That's
sad.
I don't even. He looks happy. He's stuck. I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
Two guys in a tiny little car wearing goggles. Okay.
They don't want to get bugs on their eyes.
Yeah, and finally we have the bunch of, like, I guess Asian schoolgirls, and one of them's on the ground for no particular reason. And another one looks like she's applauding.
Like, yeah, you.
Maybe they caught them in the middle of a breakdancing routine.
Ooh, I like that. I like the imagery there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Out of 40, I mean, honestly, most of these were obviously set up. I'm gonna give it a 20.
I don't like the fact that you were mentioning that they look very set up.
They really do.
I like.
Yeah.
I like it more if it's just bizarre, random.
Yeah, like
so I'm actually going to go.
Obviously, like, oh, the Google van's coming. Let's do something wacky.
But I mean, they did put forth the effort, so I'll give them 15 for that.
All right. Let's see what else we got on here. Here's another one from Poufnisse. It's a video game list. It's the 7 greatest uses of time control game mechanics.
Oh, it's my bread and butter.
Oh, so you like...
I love time travel.
No, not time travel, time control.
Like chaos control?
No, like Braid, or like Prince of Persia Sands of Time.
I love that stuff.
Okay, cool. Well, number 7 is Singularity, a game that I didn't actually play, so...
Neither did I.
Yeah. Number 6 is Super Scribblenauts.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I didn't play it, but I'd seen a playthrough of it.
Well,
yeah,
you could put things in, like, time machine or whatever, and yeah.
Yeah, and go back to...
Number 5, Dishonored. Dishonored is a great game.
I never played it, but people say nothing but good things.
It was a really good game.
So,
number 4...
So what is the time... Sorry, what was the time control in it?
It's like slowing down bullets and stuff like that.
Oh, bullet time? Okay.
No, like actually slowing down bullets and then like just plucking them out of the air or making yourself really fast to dash up to enemies or, you know.
Cool.
It was all based around stealth.
Okay.
Number 4 is Blinks the Time Sweeper.
I heard that one.
It was Xbox's early attempt at a mascot. He was a creepy-looking Cheshire cat motherfucker. He had like a vacuum clock.
A vacuum clock.
Well, now you're breaking up. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Hello.
I can hear you. I'm just having a hard time. You're breaking up. Saying hello is not going to do anything. Number 3, I mentioned this before, Prince of Persia Sands of Time.
Oh, wonderful game. Wonderful idea.
Absolutely, yeah. Number 2, Super Time Force, a game that I'm largely unaware of.
What the platform?
I guess PC, it's like a super chunky pixelated version of like a Contra game.
Ooh, I like it already.
Interesting. And gee, I wonder what number 1 is. Of course, number 1 is Braid.
Braid, love it.
Braid was a very...
like action puzzler. Ooh, so good.
Really more puzzle than anything. Because action aspect of it, like you couldn't really die. Anytime you got killed, you just hit the shift key and, you know, reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of 7,
Go back.
I'm gonna give it a 5 because there are a couple of games in there I haven't played.
A couple games I haven't played or knew about, so I'll go 4.
Singularity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, S Serpent 21. I don't know if you know this, but he's from Wisconsin, and he has sent me his
my condolences.
Yeah, right. Sorry to hear that. Top 15 actors that are from Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Here we go. A little lesson about Wisconsin.
He says, why Wisconsin? Because I'm from here. I live here, and there's plenty of great actors that I either like or know from this state. This list will start a little rocky, but it gets a shit ton better. Number 15, Chris Mulkey. You know
who's that?
Yeah. Career actor, making bit parts in TV shows and movies for over 30 years. I mainly know him from the Wing Commander PC games as a cop in 48 Hours.
Okay.
Number 14, Richard Ryle. Same boat as above. He's in Wing Commander 4, but probably best known for Fox's Grounded for Life, which was an absolutely terrible show.
I saw the ads and was like, I'm checking out.
You're like, nope. Number 13, Joel Hodgson, the man who made talking robots riffing on cheesy movies fashionable.
Oh,
from MST.
The original MST, yeah.
Number 12, Al Molinaro, a TV star we all know and kind of love from Happy Days and The Odd Couple.
Huh. I never watched any of those shows.
The Odd Couple was awesome. Number 11, Peter Weller, movie star of so many big movies, Buckaroo Banzai, RoboCop 1 and 2, Naked Lunch, Star Trek Into Darkness. He's at his best when he's wearing a cardboard RoboCop mask and singing Aretha Franklin songs.
He's done that?
I guess so. I don't. That would be, I don't know.
But yeah.
Number 10, Mark Alamo. This guy only needed one role to be awesome. Gul Dukat from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, also seen in Tango and Cash and Total Recall.
I know exactly who he is. And yeah, Gul Dukat, he made him really menacing until he went all kooky crazy in the end.
Well, of course. Number 9, Chris Farley, hyper and acrobatic comedian known for Saturday Night Live, Tommy Boy, Vans Down the River, and Cocaine.
Acrobatic.
I live in a van down by
the river.
Number 8, Liberace, piano-playing superstar. He may also be in the WWE Hall of Fame one day for being at the first WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was actually really, really good at piano. If only I could be that good.
Very good player. Number 7, Jeffrey Hunter, Captain Pike. Man, oh man, and he played someone else I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, Jesus, forget it. All right, number 6, Kurtwood Smith. A character actor best remembered for Star Trek 6, RoboCop, a bit part in Rambo 3, and that dumbass 70s show. Dumbass!
Oh, Red.
Red Foreman, yeah. Number 5,
he was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
There you go. Number 5, Mark Ruffalo. He's the Hulk. Who cares what else he's done?
Yeah, that's pretty much his claim to fame.
Yeah. Number 4, Tony Shalhoub. TV actor known for Wings and Monk among Galaxy Quest and Men in Black. Family members of his used to own a barbecue place in town by me. Oh, that's interesting, at least. Wisconsin barbecue. You wouldn't think of going to Wisconsin for barbecue, would you?
I wouldn't think of going to Wisconsin for anything.
You're in Canada, so Wisconsin is like the South to you, so maybe you would.
It is south of me, but that's about it.
Number 3, Spencer Tracy, famous movie actor from the Golden Age, starred in way too much famous stuff.
Yeah, heard of him.
Number 2, Gene Wilder, famous comedic and character actor, starred in funny stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1,
just think of all those movies.
Orson Welles, influential filmmaker, actor, radio theater host, and the greatest guest character on The Critic. Yes, they're even better when you're dead.
Oh, what was it he was pushing there?
It was the frozen peas or fish sticks or some shit like that. That wasn't Orson Welles, I don't think.
No, but it was supposed to be some caricature.
He died in... out of 15, I'm going to go ahead and give him a 15, because just the fact that he can come up with 15 actors from Wisconsin is kind of impressive to me.
And having like cool little facts, I got to agree with you there. Way to go.
Yeah.
That's Serpent 21.
He's also sent his top 10 favorite film cameos.
Okay.
Cameos in movies is nothing new, and it can be fun to find those familiar faces in something you're watching. Here are 10 of my favorites. Number 10, Patrick Stewart in Robin Hood Men in Tights. As far as I'm concerned,
he's the king.
Patrick made this scene at the end of the film worth sitting through the movie. good to be
the true king. And it's good to be the king.
He's like, I get to kiss her. You know, and he's like making out with her. That was kind of a spoof on, you know, like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or like at the end the king shows up randomly and it's Sean Connery.
I never saw Prince of Thieves. I was like, I think it was at that age where I didn't really want it.
Yeah, well, Sean Connery was like the king in that one scene. I think they were spoofing that with Patrick Stewart.
Well, they made a good choice.
Now on, all the toilets in the land shall be known as John's.
John's.
Number 9, Mike Judge in South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. He has one line at the end of the movie as the often muffled Kenny, and the line is only a simple goodbye, but something about Mike Judge being asked to voice the often voiceless Kenny for some reason brings a smile to my face.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he was a big influence on South Park, so.
With the whole Beavis and Butthead and
Butthead, King of the
Hill.
Yeah. Number 8, Steven Spielberg in The Blues Brothers, playing the tax assessor of Cook County, the man who takes the Blues Brothers' money. Spielberg agreed to appear in the movie as a favor to his then-friend director John Landis. This is one of the last times Landis and Spielberg would work together, as the colossal disaster that was The Twilight Zone effectively ended their friendship and working relationship.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Number 7, Martin Scorsese in Taxi Driver, filling in for an actor who didn't show up for the shoot. Director Martin Scorsese films a scene in the back of Travis's cab spying on his wife who's having an affair with another man. The passenger's talk only pushes Travis further off the deep end, especially when the passenger begins talking about the destructive effects of a .44 Magnum.
That's Scorsese? Oh my god.
Yeah, that was him. Number 6, Stan Lee in Iron Man. Stan Lee has appeared in practically all the modern Marvel movies in a small walk-on role, but it was this appearance that was probably my favorite, where Tony mistakes Stan for Hugh Hefner. Not quite Tony. Well, I don't know. I kind of
Excelsior.
I thought he was playing Hugh Hefner.
I thought, I don't know. I thought it was just a throwaway line, like, "Hey, you have."
Well, in the first one, he was Larry King, you know. Oh no, it was Iron Man 2. He was Larry King. You know, my favorite was in Thor: The Dark World, where he was like the mental patient. Can I?
I haven't seen that yet.
Back. Oh, well, all right. Number 5, Kevin McElroy in Thunderball. Who is Kevin McElroy? Necro may have already told us, but long story short, he helped write the novel Thunderball with Ian Fleming and was able to get a cameo. He didn't write the novel. I'm actually going to correct him on that. Before Thunderball was a novel, it was a screenplay. And it was written by Ian McKellen and Kevin McElroy as a treatment for the first James Bond movie. But when it didn't get picked up, what happened was that Ian Fleming adapted it to being a novel. And then, of course, it was adapted into a movie. So the movie is actually an adaptation of an adaptation.
Holy crew.
Yeah. But think about it. Because Thunderball was based on a screenplay, which was based on a novel, which was based on a screenplay.
Oh,
but anyway, yeah, right. But he was able to get a cameo in this film and would later make his own version with 1983's Never Say Never Again. In this movie, he's a guy on the couch blowing smoke rings as Bond walks into the casino to play cards with Largo. He doesn't do anything, but it's cool to know what that is.
Actually have the DVD of Never Say Never Again.
Oh, God. Number 4, John Hurt in Spaceballs. The guy who has the alien come out of him in Alien plays a guy who has an alien that comes out of him in Spaceballs, only to have it sing and dance away like Michael J. Frog from the Looney Tunes cartoons. Bonus points for making many of the people he's talking to in the scene resemble his alien co-stars.
Hello, my baby.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny. Number 3, Dolph Lundgren in A View to a Kill. Sweden's favorite go-to actor to play Russians made a small appearance as a bodyguard during a scene where Christopher Walken's character is confronted by his superiors. When Mayday races the guard over her head and throws him on the ground, Dolph is the guard who hovers over him with a gun looking up at Mayday. He got the role because he was dating Grace Jones at the time, who played Mayday. That is one brave dude.
I must break you.
I think Grace Jones might have broken him. Number 2, Colonel Sanders in Hell's Bloody Devils. Thanks to the Cinema Snob for pointing this one out to me, the Harlan Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame cameoed in this biker secret agent exploitation movie from the 60s. Colonel Sanders was reportedly a big supporter of drive-in movies like this and would provide catering to the film in exchange for product placement and a cameo in the film. That is awesome, and it is awesome, I agree.
Quite the craft service table there.
I know, right? All KFC. And finally, number 1, who else? Harry Dean Stanton in The Avengers. Well, of course, it would be this one. The one with my favorite actor in one of my favorite movies. I don't even care that the hacky Joss Whedon only put him in this movie so that Harry Dean could utter the line, "Are you an alien?" Get it? Because Harry Dean Stanton was in the movie Alien. It doesn't matter. Harry Dean rules. The Avengers rules.
I called Joss Whedon hacky. It's brave.
I agree with that assessment. Joss Whedon is hacky.
But, there's like the whole Joss Whedon can do no wrong kind of thing.
Go fuck... fuck a tree. That's my reply to that. Go fuck a tree. All right, out of 10, I'm going to give this 8.
I'll also give it an 8.
An 8 it is. You have received an 8. 8. Okay, The Anime Fan sent in a list from Complex.com, the 10 funniest Robot Chicken sketches.
I do like Robot Chicken.
All right, number 10, Sailor Moon is hot. Who didn't once harbor a cartoon crush on manga artist Naoko Takeuchi's magical girl creation Sailor Moon and her entourage of interplanetary homegirls? It was only a matter of time before her enemies too began to take notice of those scantily clad transformation sequences. In the name of the moon, punish us. I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, don't they all get boners?
I didn't see that one. Number 9, Twilight the Game. Those who've seen Twilight or allowed themselves to be dragged kicking and screaming to the theater can attest to us that this sketch provides a rather spot-on summation of what one can expect the first, second, third, and yes, fourth installments in only 41 seconds. However, we've got to admit that there's something off about Kristen Stewart's digital doppelganger. We think she's showing a little too much range. Oh, snap!
I love it.
Number 8, Law & Order, KFC. What is it about chickens that makes anything with them involved more entertaining? Created by Chick Bok Bogok, this spoof of the long-running crime drama Law & Order features nearly 2 straight minutes of Seth Green clucking out the dialogue as Detectives Stabler and Benson, reimagined as Poultry, investigate the murder of a bird found in the park. The show's formula is impressively emulated from the format to the sound effects. The only thing that's notably missing, iced tea.
Yeah, that would certainly improve things a little bit.
Number 7, Mario Meets the Parents. Tales of star-crossed lovers are as old as time, but star-crossed plumbers, not so much. It's funny how no one ever paused to consider the unlikelihood of Mario and Princess Peach's relationship taking flight when we used to live and breathe this game back in the day. Additionally, between her medieval garbs and his 90s dance party overalls, which only lack an airbrushed Donald Duck on the front, the two appear to be living some sort of backwards version of a lake house. What would the relationship be like if the plumber finally beats the game and wins the princess? Thankfully, Robot Chicken has eliminated the guesswork and answered that question for us.
I think I saw this, but I kind of forget it. It's been a while.
Oh, I love this one. Number 6, Delicious Gummy Bears. The Robot Chicken staff sometimes finds sadistic love of subjecting random cuddly creatures to torture is wonderfully epitomized in this bit, which features an adorable gummy bear enjoying an afternoon frolic. That is, before a few animal traps get thrown into the equation, like James Franco in 127 Hours, the bear is soon forced to take drastic action. Just be glad you didn't have to watch the voice actor chow down on his own arm. He's trying to eat his way out of the trap, and he's like, I am delicious!
Oh, yeah. It's Gummy Bear.
Oh, this was horrible. Number 5, Golden Girls in the City. Ladies, take note. For you, Sex in the City might be synonymous with fresh outfits, hot dudes, shoe porn, and candid relationship talk, but this is a fairly accurate depiction of what your man sees when you ambush him with those Tuesday night viewings. Check, please.
Ugh.
That was funny, though. Number 4, Take Your Daughter to Work Day. If you thought Gary's voice sounded familiar, you'd be correct. It's that of Donald Faison, with many celebs who've lent their pipes to this twisted stop-motion show. In this Star Wars-inspired clip, he makes a vocal cameo as a stormtrooper tasked with enduring the world's most difficult Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. You thought spending a day at your parents' place of business was rough.
Yeah, just don't be on the Death Star when it's supposedly fully operational.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, I love this one. Number 3, Voltron Got Served. Of Robot Chicken's never-ending list of sketches from the 100-plus episodes, the show's co-creator Seth Green has dubbed this spoof starring Voltron, Defender of the Universe, as his very favorite. It's not hard to see why. Just try and hold your shit together while watching an intergalactic dance-off between the renowned robot and his monstrous competition, who lets everyone know that he means business the second he sets down his weapon of mass destruction-looking boombox.
And he just can't pull it off. Poor guy.
The Emperor's Phone Call. In the event that you haven't noticed it already, the creative minds behind Robot Chicken have an unabashed weak spot for Star Wars. Ample shorts have been created to pay homage to the legendary trilogy, some including Luke Darth dance-offs and others full of Star Wars Yo Mama jokes, yet this goes down in our book as the team's very best. It was when Palpatine gets the call from Darth Vader about the first Death Star blowing up.
Yeah, and he's like making fun of him. Like,
oh God, he's crying. He's crying. And number 1, 1776. You know the best thing about the original 1776 movie? Nothing, except for the fact that William Mr. Feeney Daniels was in it. This, however, is a rehashing of the story behind our nation's independence that we can get behind. Polar bears, John Hancock doing flying matrix maneuvers, lizard-looking redcoats, epic 80s fight scene music. We'd love to imagine the first noteworthy July 4th went down exactly like this. Beats your cousin's lame-ass barbecue, for sure.
I didn't see that.
I've seen it. It was pretty funny. I personally would have put the Voltron thing as number 1, though.
That was pretty funny.
I mean, out of 10, I'm going to go 7 on this one.
That's what I was going to pick. 7.
Go figure. All right, let's see. What do we got next? Let's do one from David Wayne from TopTens.net. The 10 biggest jerks in the world today.
Oh, here we go. Perfect.
Out of my way, jerk ass.
I love negative lists. I don't know why.
Okay, so this is the top 10 biggest jerks in the world today.
Okay.
Now, Top Tens cannot legally advise that you track down the following folks and continuously poop in their cereal every morning because the logistics of such an endeavor would be just impossible, but if you ever run into them, be sure to give them a stern look and a judgmental wag of the finger. Number 10, Paul Cristoforo. Do you know who Paul Cristoforo is?
No.
He was that guy who... he worked for this company that was making these adaptive controllers for like Xbox 360 and shit, and people were like ordering the controllers and not getting them, and they would email him about it, and he would just like make fun of them and shit. And
so he just wasn't making them?
He wasn't sending them out, and he was like making fun of people and saying, if you email me again, I'm going to sell your controllers on eBay and keep your money. You know, and shit like that. And somebody tried to... Yeah, here, I'm just going to read what it says. Back in 2011, a gamer named Dave ordered 2 of those newfangled thingamajig PS3 Avenger controllers. Unfortunately, the shipment of the controllers kept getting postponed until Dave decided to contact Ocean Marketing, who were handling customer service and PR for the Avenger. That's when Dave reached Paul Cristoforo, a.k.a. His Majesty, the King of the Internet and the Greater Duke of the Gaming. After a few email exchanges, things started to escalate between Paul and Dave until the former went, in proper psychological terms, bat crap loony banana. Paul quickly started insulting Dave for daring to ask when he will get his stuff he paid for, telling him to shut up, and stopping very short of adding "or else" at the end. After Dave informed Paul that their emails were being sent to major gaming websites like Kotaku, IGN, and Penny Arcade, Paul simply laughed that he's so tight with the people there that it won't matter none. When Mike Krahulik, a.k.a. Gabe from Penny Arcade, kindly told Paul that due to his behavior he will never get a booth at PA's PAX Festival, Paul actually told him that he will get the mayor of Boston to force Mike into giving them that booth. This is basically the equivalent of trying to get your neighbor's birthday party by threatening to complain to his mother. Also, the neighbor here is 40 years old. In the end, Paul did get what was coming to him when every single person and company he name-dropped either denied ever knowing him or confirmed that he's a jackass. But you might be asking, why single out Paul? He's a horrible person, but it's not like there aren't worse customer service reps out there. Well, it's actually about the Avenger controller. It just feels so wrong for one horrible person to bring so much bad press to an invention which was originally designed by a teacher to help a disabled student.
Oh, man.
And Amazon page for the Avenger controllers were flooded with 1-star reviews as retaliation for his behavior, so it really did hurt the developer of that particular piece of hardware.
Oh.
All because they hired this shit mop. Number 9.
One bad apple spoils a bunch.
Yeah, number 9 is John Fitzgerald Page. Do you know who this is? Because I don't.
No idea.
Well, let's see. JFP entered the internet limelight in 2007 when his Match.com email exchange went viral. In it, John replies to a woman who oh, I have heard of this, is good, who obviously during a very tragic period in her life wanted to know more about him. His opening line is about how totally rich he is. Then he goes on to explain, without actually being asked to do so, that he attended the world-famous University of Pennsylvania and has the physique of a Greek god. This naturally sounded exactly like asking a guy for the time and having him respond, "Why, yes, I did bang Angelina Jolie." So after the woman politely rejected John, he went back to tell her that she just missed the chance to be with, in no uncertain terms, the greatest man in the world. That's certainly douchebaggery at its finest, but it feels like there should be more for Johnny to make this list. There sure is. In 2010, it came to light that along with being a Mensa member and the greatest living actor of all time, JFP also runs a modeling agency. Only not really. Apparently what Johnny did was copy-paste ads from real casting calls and send them to his clients, for which he demanded money. When one woman decided to expose his scam in a mass email, John immediately contacted her and told her that he knows Nick Nolte.
Woohoo.
Oh, yeah. And that if she doesn't apologize or give him $1,000, he will sue her. I guess.
$1,000.
Yeah. Then he threatened to use his contacts to put the girl on the no-fly list because he can totally do that, you know. Luckily, the woman known only as Rebecca didn't buy it and even found a lawyer willing to represent her pro bono. In the end, John never sued her for reasons which are known only to a complicated mind like his.
This dude is a jerk. So far, this list is living up to it.
Yeah, number 8 is Matthew Chidgey. Do you know who Matthew Chidgey is?
I'm just blanking on all of these, man.
I don't know him. So far, Paul Christopher is the one I know. Well, I did know the other guy, I just didn't know his name. All right. Yeah. When a woman named Kiara was treated rudely at Gasp, a clothing store in Australia, she fired off an email to the store's manager hoping to get at the very least an apology for being called a joke by the store's employee. Matthew, the manager, had a different idea. Following the established MO for huge asses, Maddie started off with a few well-positioned name drops like Kim Kardashian, Selena Gomez, and Katy Perry, explaining that their store is more catered to those kinds of people, not Kiara, who probably smells. It was heavily implied. He unfortunately omitted the part where that makes it okay to insult people in your store, but let's move on. The manager then proceeded to defend his employee, Chris, calling him a superstar, and kindly asking Kiara to please not compare herself to Gas just because she too works in retail. See, it doesn't count unless you sell swatches of polyester to sort of famous people. That's just common sense. All in all, Chidgey's attitude sounds about the same as feeling superior to the common folks because you once treated the anal glands of a Taco Bell Chihuahua. That's terrible. All right, number 7 is Abraham Kortotky. I don't know who it is, but he looks like an asshole.
Oh, here we go.
After Nicole Rao, 40 years old, was diagnosed with breast cancer, she decided to not take it sitting down and went off to kick cancer's butt with poker. Let me explain. In 2009, Rao was preparing for the Atlantic City women-only poker tournament, where she was sure she will come first and earn enough money to keep her afloat after her cancer surgery, a surgery where they would cut off her breast, a notable cause if there was ever one. Unfortunately, Rao's plans came to a small hitch when she placed second at the tournament. It happens. But the problem is to whom she lost. Abraham Kortotky, a man who elbowed his way into the women-only tournament and won the first prize of over $20,000. It turns out that it's actually illegal to deny anyone entry to a sports tournament based on gender, race, or sexuality, which is how Kortotky got in. When Rao explained her situation to him and asked if in these circumstances he would maybe want to share his winnings with her, he refused. The final judgment is, of course, up to you. Is Kortotky a greedy, slimy poker pro with less right to breathe the air we all share than a diseased weasel, or just your run-of-the-mill jerk? Let us know in the comments. I think he's just a run-of-the-mill jerk.
Yeah, there's a lot of poker tournaments out there. Do you have to pick that one?
He did have a point that they were being exclusionary, but is that really a battle worth fighting?
Yeah, is this the hill you want to die on?
No, I don't think that this woman should be given money that the guy won just because she has cancer.
She rightfully lost.
Because you shouldn't be gambling to pay your medical bills.
Yeah.
But at the guy does seem like a jackass.
Yeah, he's not like grade A worst jerk ever.
Yeah, I don't know if he should really be on this list. Number 6, I've actually heard of this one, and this guy is a grade A jackass. It takes a very specific type of person to steal from the disabled. It takes an even more specific person to steal from animals. And it takes the most specific person in the world to steal from disabled animals. The anonymous thief in this story is exactly that type of specific, which is actually a code word for horrible. Dave Feeney's dog, Lucky, a 12-year-old Belgian Shepherd, got hit by a car some time ago and lost the use of his hind legs. Since then, he could only move with the help of a dog wheelchair. But one night, Dave left the wheelchair in his front yard only to discover the next day that it was stolen. Let me repeat that. Someone stole a custom dog wheelchair for a disabled dog. Was it an act of desperation to finance that person's out-of-control habit of eating all the dicks in the world? I'm not saying yes, but yes, that's totally the reason why he did it. In the bit of good news, some nice people over at handicappets.com have since donated a new wheelchair for Lucky. Like, why would you steal something that you have absolutely no use for and has really absolutely no value?
Yeah, like, did he steal it to steal it? Like, just
it could have been a
klepto,
yeah. Could have been a klepto. All right, this guy, I've heard of this guy. This is a horrible human being. Number 5 is Zhao Baiyu, a.k.a. Wolf Dad. He's a horrible person and a horrible parent. In his book, originally actually titled Beat Them into Peking University, he lays out what is most likely a taunt for God Almighty to finally end his life by admitting to the following things. He regularly beats his kids, sets up literally thousands of rules for how they're supposed to act, including how to hold stuff, and actually considers himself to be a great dad. Unsurprisingly, his face looks like the result of millions of years of evolution working hard to produce the most punchable object in the universe. I've read a little bit more about that guy, and he really is like a shit.
Why would he go ahead and do something like this? Like that's and to publicize it.
I know.
You
right?
know?
No, I don't know, man. I guess in China they put up with that kind of shit. Here they just like fucking put you in jail for that kind of crap.
Yeah, take it down.
Number 4, John M. Fiala. Let's get this out of the way. Reverend Fiala is a pedophile priest.
There you go.
As horribly depressing as that makes us feel, priests molesting kids is not really that uncommon. So what makes Fiala eligible for this list? One simple detail. After his victim accused Fiala of sexual abuse, he put a hit on the kid's head.
No.
Yeah. Fortunately, he offered the $5,000 for the boy's life to an undercover agent with the Texas Department for Public Safety and is now currently comfortably behind bars with no further harm coming to his victim. Unfortunately, you know that Fiala is destined to strike it rich after he sells the movie rights to his thoroughly messed up story, and the resulting film makes millions because if you look at his face, it's obvious he'll be played by Bryan Cranston.
Huh.
You know what, though? He won't make any money off that. It's actually illegal in America to be able to profit from your own crimes.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
So any money made from a movie like that would go to, like, the victim. Number 3 is Darren Pease. Darren Pease, he just looks like a shithead. I don't know who he is, though. Oh, wow. Wow, this is bad. We've already established that you need to be a particular brand of horrible to steal a handicapped dog's wheelchair, but then what does that make Darren Pease, who stole over 300,000 pounds from a trust fund of a quadruple amputee 5-year-old girl who also happens to be his niece?
Oh my God.
If you've answered, oh God, what the hell's wrong with the world, then you are correct. The story is simple. Darren Pease of Crap is a banker and part-time Pillsbury Doughboy lookalike who is made a trustee of his niece's charity fund, which she was counting on for small stuff like replacement limbs and living. Pease was trusted with managing this small fortune due to his experience in finances and because he was family, but in 2008 it was discovered that he had plundered all but roughly 200 pounds of the original cash, which mostly came from donations. Police say they're looking into what Pease did with the money, a statement which I sincerely hope means they are planning to tie him to a chair and work on his face with a cricket bat for a couple of nights.
Yeah, something in the translation.
Sounds good, right? All right, number 2 is Hamza Abu Hamda.
Just rolls off the tongue, man.
Yeah. Oh, look, another story about stealing from an unfortunate little girl related to you. Just as Top 10 Secret slogan says, you will grow to hate the human race. Sabrine Hawk was just 14 when she died of a brain tumor, but here death was made all the more sad when she didn't get her dying wish to finally have her own room in a real house. What's worse, she almost saw her dream come true when a local community came together and raised $120,000 for her. But then they entrusted the money to Sabrine's cousin Hamza, who bought a house and immediately rented it to other people, leaving Sabrine to die in her tiny apartment. When confronted about his crimes, which come down to 3 counts of theft, Hamza chewed his gum, smirked, and replied that the wishes of a dying kid don't mean much to him because, hey, we're all going to die. He is, of course, totally right, especially after I find both the cheapest flight to Cleveland and a way to attach an angry badger to a sharpened hockey stick. And number one's an anonymous man we just call HIV guy. Look, I get it, HIV sucks, but no matter how bad or alone you feel with it, I advise, beg you, not to do what this anonymous New Zealand man did and infect your sleeping wife with the virus just so that your misery can have company.
Holy shit.
All right, that's not even the whole story. The guy who did this also missed having sex with his wife after he contracted the virus by, I'm going to say, rolling in medical waste for fun. Sounds about right. Sounds about the kind of senseless, stupid thing this guy would do. Unfortunately, his sick plan worked halfway. After pricking his wife with a needle soaked in his infected blood, the man succeeded in giving his wife HIV. He will even get his wish and have lots and lots of sex, though mostly of the rapey variety, as he will most likely and hopefully spend the rest of his miserable life in prison.
That is the worst. That is the worst.
I don't know. I kind of think the guy who stole the money from the dying girl and was like, who cares? That's probably the worst on here.
Yeah, actually, it's each one of these is just awful in its own terrible.
I think that I'm going to give
way.
this out of 10. I'm going to give this a 9. I'm taking off a point for
The poker winner?
yeah, the poker guy. I mean, that's a dick, but I think you could probably find a bigger dick to be on here. Bigger dick. What do you give it?
I was thinking along the way, like which one of these won't? How many of these wouldn't really fit on the list? And I gotta agree with you. I hate picking the same ones all the time, but
Ooh,
it is what it is. 9 out of 10.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
And you're right.
All right.
All right. Okay, well, let's say we do one more.
Okay.
Here's one from Poofnisse from WhatCulture.com, the 10 most ridiculous superheroes of all time. What'd you expect
All right.
anything that you would expect to be on here?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. Lethargic Lad?
That's a good one. I was thinking like Brother Power the Geek.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
Crazy. All right, number 10, Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl, actually, no, she's a Marvel character, and I think she first showed up in like an Iron Man comic as this like insane teenage girl who was all into squirrels, and she wore like a squirrel costume and had like squirrel-based comics, and I guess she came up to Iron Man, oh, I think you're so great, I want to be in the Avengers, and he was like very politely told her, fuck you. And then she beat Doctor Doom.
She beat Doctor Doom?
Yeah. By having him be swarmed by squirrels.
What, is he allergic to squirrels?
He was just really badly written is what it was. Squirrel Girl has since become kind of a joke where she shows up and winds up defeating enemies way more powerful than her.
I like that, though.
I remember the time where she literally kicked Deadpool's ass.
Like, kicked him in the ass?
Yes. Number 9 is Vibe. Vibe, I remember Vibe. He was a DC hero. He was in the Justice League Detroit. He was like a Hispanic guy, and he was just like basically the worst corporate sort of created by a boardroom character to try and be hip and cool. Like, oh, he's a break dancer. He wears sunglasses. He's hip, you know. And it didn't go so well, and he was eventually killed off.
What were his powers?
He had like vibration powers, like he could like make earthquakes and shit like that.
I guess he'd be very popular with the ladies, if you know what I mean.
Oh my. Number 8 is Leather Boy.
Popular in the S&M
Exactly
crowd.
what's popping up in your head is exactly what's true. Leather Boy was another character from Marvel. He was kind of a joke character. He was like basically this stereotypical gay guy. With like BDSM costume and a ball gag in his mouth. He wound up like killing one of Squirrel Girl's pets at one point.
Back to Squirrel Girl.
Yeah. Number 7 is Skate Man. This is the first one on this list that I'm not familiar with. Let's see.
It's probably exactly what I'm thinking of. He's on roller skates.
Judging from the picture, yes, let's see. Skate Man only ever got one comic book issue, and that's because he's a superhero called Skate Man. If you've ever held back from trying to come up with a superhero of your own and are worried that you'll just embarrass yourself in an attempt to be creative, you needn't worry, you'll never do worse than this guy. A former Vietnam vet and martial artist of sorts, Skate Man would take to the streets at night and unleash hell upon unsuspecting criminals who probably just assumed he was some stupid punk. His costume is primarily made up of a scarf that he wrapped around his face. Apparently Skate Man was willing to just put about as much effort in as the writer who created him. Pretty bad. Number 6
sounds like
is
a throwaway character.
Yeah. Number 6 is Color Kid. I think it's from the Legion of Superheroes Rejects. And
What, could he change the colors of things?
that's exactly what it was.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, he might be useful if he was in the DC universe against the...
No, he was a DC character.
Oh, well then...
Were you thinking
like
the Green Lantern? Like he would
Yeah, like War of Light and all
that
that.
doesn't work anymore, though. Number 5 is Ambush Bug. Ambush Bug was basically created to be ridiculous. He's like DC's like joke mascot, you know.
Oh.
Kind of like.
What about Batmite?
Well, he's not that different from Batmite.
Oh.
Yeah. Number 4 is the Whizzer. The Whizzer was an early Marvel character who was like a speedster like the Flash. He was basically a rip-off of the Flash.
Oh.
But the thing that's ridiculous about him is that he's named the Whizzer and he wears a yellow costume.
I was going to say his name.
Yeah. Number 3 is Bouncing Boy.
Is he large?
He is large, and he bounces.
Like the Blob?
Yeah, except not.
Wow.
Number 2, this website's going a little slow. Arm Fall Off Boy. He was another Legion of Superheroes. Literally, like he would pluck his arm off and beat people with it.
Dan, you're running out of ideas, people.
Well, the thing about like the Legion of Superheroes rejects was that they were lame superheroes that got rejected from being in the Legion of Superheroes.
Wait, was that their actual name? The superhero rejects or whatever?
I think they were called something else, but that's what they were.
Huh.
And number 1 is Maggot. Oh god, I remember this motherfucker. Maggot was in the X-Men, and he was like this guy who had these 2 slugs that replaced his stomach, and I guess he would send them out, and they would eat stuff and then return to him and transfer their nutrients to him, and that was his power. And somehow he thought he could be in the X-Men. And it was one of a few characters that Scott Lobdell, who was an absolutely horrible comic book writer, created to be new X-Men around the mid to late 90s that he thought was going to be really popular and awesome. And what they did was they shipped Maggot off to Generation X, but then they never told the writers of Generation X, so he never actually appeared again.
I like that.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's pretty good there. I mean, none of those are not ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Arm Fall Off Boy, I just can't get over that.
Just a name. I mean, could you even come up with a better name than that?
I wonder if his tagline is, "No, you're armless," or, something cheesy like that.
Yeah, but his arm comes off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's some arm puns or something like that.
Well, out of 10, I'm going to say 10.
Yeah, they were all equally silly and ridiculous. So I'll go with 10 as well.
Okay, how about we'll do one more, because I just came across another comic book list that I think you'll enjoy. This is 20 really badass single panels from comics.
Ooh.
Okay, so number 20 is from a comic book called The Will, and basically this guy does Jax's fatality from Mortal Kombat 2, and a dude just claps his hands to explode a guy's head.
Awesome!
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Number 19 is from Marvel Comics. Remember the character Carnage?
Yeah.
He's not around anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's because the Sentry ripped him to shreds.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Does it show it? Just
Yeah, pretty much. He flew him up into space and ripped him apart.
Wow.
Yeah, tore him in half.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Number 18, this is from a recent comic. This is from Injustice Gods Among Us. Alfred, the butler, kicking the shit out of Superman.
How?
Well, I don't know if you've played Injustice, but part of the plot and the reason that characters like Batman or Batgirl are able to fight characters like Superman and Zod is because of a serum that Batman invented that basically makes them tough enough to stand against these guys. Alfred took it, kind of took Superman by surprise and gave him a really vicious headbutt, broke his nose.
Nice.
There you go.
Way to go, Alfred.
Number 17, how about when they killed off Magneto by having Cyclops explode his head?
Gee, that's a bit gruesome.
It was a bit gruesome. Of course, it turned out Magneto was not really dead, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah.
That's Marvel.
Number 16, Guy Gardner of the Green Lanterns challenged Batman to a fight for leadership of the Justice League. Batman knocked him out with one punch.
Because he's Batman.
Yeah. Just right in the face. Number 15, apparently Franklin Richards from the future took out Galactus very easily, apparently.
Took out Galactus, that huge planet eater thing.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know this one, so I don't really know.
It doesn't show the panel?
It shows it, but I don't know, he's just holding up his hand and there's energy coming out of it or something.
Oh.
Number 14, Jesse Custer, dodging bullets. Jesse Custer's from a comic called Preacher. He actually had a superpower called the Word, which he actually got from God. And basically, if he tells you to do something, you are compelled to do it. So somebody was shooting at him, and he said, miss.
Huh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Couldn't hit him.
That's crazy.
Couldn't hit him. Actually, I think one of the most badass things from Preacher was when he punished a guy by making him count the grains of sand in a desert.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's quite a powerful
But this was a
thing.
powerful moment because the guy was basically saying that he would shoot him dead after he said, if you say a single word, I'll shoot you. So the single word was miss.
That is pretty badass.
It's pretty badass. Number 13, another Cyclops moment. Let's see. I'm going to read X-Men, so I have to read what this is.
Jean yelling Scott for the 1500th time. Scott!
Well, she's been dead for a while now. Oh, yeah. Reminded everyone how powerful he actually is by taking out a Sentinel in a single blast.
Whoa. No, that ruby light is pretty powerful.
How about number 12 from Watchmen, Ozymandias destroying Manhattan?
I've seen the comic, but I can't remember. I remember the movie more so than the comic.
Do it? Dan, I'm not a Serial Republic villain. Do you seriously think I'd explain my masterstroke if there remained the slightest chance of you affecting its outcome? I did it 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That was great. Number 11. I don't know this comic. Shaolin Cowboys Chainsaw Nunchucks. This guy actually made chainsaw nunchucks and is apparently fighting off a horde of zombies with it.
That does sound pretty awesome.
It sounds completely impractical and completely awesome, which is what makes comics great. Number 10, apparently there is a comic character called One Punch Man, and it says anything from One Punch Man. His power is literally being able to take out anybody with one punch.
It's
not a great idea, though.
It's not a creative name, but you know what's up.
Yeah. Number 9, and I didn't know this, apparently Doctor Strange, aside from being a very powerful sorcerer, also knows Kung Fu.
Oh. Did you ever see the cartoon that the animation movie they made for Doctor Strange?
I didn't know they made an animated movie. I know they made like a live action TV movie.
Oh no, they did like an animated one. It was really good. Like I didn't know anything about him, and now he seems pretty cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 is from a Superman comic, but I'm not really. Apparently, it was a crossover with the Authority, and the Superman's just like he's like all beaten up, and he's saying, "How does it feel knowing that everything you thought you had has been taken away from you? How does it feel to have your flaws exploited, to be deconstructed? How does it feel to watch dreams die?" So, basically, Superman taunting the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just griefing him.
Oh, number 7, how about the Punisher running over Wolverine with a steamroller? And then I love it, and he just stands there and goes, well, we've had our differences.
This should even everything.
Yeah. Number 6, I love this one. This was from a great arc from Justice League. Batman taking out entire Martian invasion.
How does he do that?
They're weak. He figured out that they were Martians. See, they were posing as superheroes from deep space, and they slowly took over the Earth. And Batman was actually the first one they took out, and then they kind of They kind of like thought, oh well, he's no big deal. He's just human, right?
Yeah.
He was the one that figured out they're Martians, and they're therefore very weak to fire. And he rallied the entire world to rise against them by using fire.
Fire bad.
Oh yeah, Martians don't like fire in the DC universe.
Poor Manhunter.
Number 5, and this is just a ridiculous thing, but Nick Fury rides a motorcycle through a wall topless while shooting a gun.
It seems pretty badass, gotta say.
Yeah, this is original OG Nick Fury, not like the one based on Samuel L. Jackson.
No. The one based on David Hasselhoff.
Number 4. How about Judge Dredd punching through a guy's skull while screaming, "Gaze into the fist of dread"?
Holy shit.
Number 3, an iconic Spider-Man moment when he lifted that huge building that had collapsed on him.
He lifted a building?
Well, Spider-Man's a lot stronger than people usually portray him as.
because he gets beaten up a lot, so it doesn't look very strong.
Number 2, how about Wonder Woman beating the crap out of Batman?
Oh, that would be good for a change.
You know, like, he's definitely, like, the brains of the Justice League, and Superman is, like, the power, but when it comes down to, like, raw fighting ability, they probably just all pale in comparison to Wonder Woman.
Like, she'd be the most skilled fighter.
Yeah, I mean, she's ancient. She's an Amazon warrior. I mean,
yeah,
skilled with whips and swords, hand-to-hand fighting.
Still looking like she's 21 the whole time.
Giggity. All right, number 1 from the original Wolverine series, where he emerges from the sewers after healing himself, where he says, "Okay, suckers, you've taken your best shot. Now it's my turn."
Ooh.
Which is really where the character went from being kind of a throwaway character to a character that was important in the Marvel universe, because, like, he was a character that Marvel almost dropped because they felt he was boring.
Wolverine,
and this limited series that they did made him into a badass. He wasn't really a badass at first. He was just this, like, annoying guy who first showed up and fought the Hulk, and then they, like, shoehorned him into the X-Men, and his whole personality was that he was hitting on Jean Grey. So his whole badass persona basically came from that moment in the limited series after it gets his ass kicked, and then he comes back and just kicks everybody's ass.
Just all-out ass-kicking.
Yeah. All right. You know, out of 20, I'm going to give it a 15. I think there's, like, a few things that I could have thought of that would have been on this list.
I'll probably give it a little bit better because, I don't know, you know a little more about the actual comics than I do, so I'm going to go 17.
Yeah. I mean, like...
What did you want to see?
How about Batman killing Darkseid?
In one panel?
Well, yeah.
Like, what happens?
Well, they kind of killed each other because Batman got hit by the Omega effect when he shot at the same time that he shot Darkseid with the poison bullet.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, Darkseid did, like, live for, like, another whole issue, but he was, like, dying the whole time.
Hmm.
Superman did finish him off, but I thought it was just great, Batman and Darkseid clashing like that.
Blah. Anything else come to mind?
Also, you know, all 7 light cores coming together to destroy Necron in one single blow.
Like the end of the War of Light?
Yeah. Well, the end of the Blackest Night.
Or Blackest Night, yeah.
Blackest Night. When actually, you know, the moment would be the when all the White Lanterns showed up at the end.
Oh.
And that, you know, like it was like Hal and Superman and like everybody that had ever like died and come back, and they all swarmed him. And I remember the line. It was a great line because Necron had revealed that he was behind all the resurrections in the DC universe.
Oh, yeah.
Because anybody that had been resurrected, he can call them forward as a Black Lantern anytime he wanted. And Hal Jordan said, you may have opened the door, but we walked through it. We are the White Lantern Corps. And they all just swarmed him and destroyed him. It was fun.
Wicked.
It was badass. There's only one White Lantern now, and it's weird because they were setting it up as Swamp Thing, and then they like changed their minds, and now it's Kyle Rayner. But that was a moment where there was a whole bunch of them at once.
That'd be so strange that Swamp Thing could have been.
I was stoked for Swamp Thing to be the White Lantern, but there were creative differences, I guess.
Actually, for my brother's birthday not that long ago, I bought him an issue of the Saga of the Swamp Thing.
Oh, the old Alan Moore comic, yeah.
Alan Moore, yeah. He's just getting into it.
That was good shit, too.
I don't know anything really about it, but he's all about it right now.
All right, out of 20. I said 15. What say you?
17, remember?
17. All right, well, that'll be our episode. I know it was a little bit late, but, you know, shit went down, so.
Stuff happens.
Yeah. We'll see you next month.
See you later.